Check, check. Sadak, start. So, a warm welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you so much for coming. तो आई थिंक ये SOIC ट्राइब की थर्ड ऑफलाइन मीट है एंड अभी तक हमने पहले एक मीट जो अरविंद कोठारी सर साथ करी थी, सजल सर साथ करी थी, एंड टुडे वील बी डूइंग अ मीट विद मिस्टर हिमांशु शर्मा. So he has done his CFT and CMT, and apart from that, he's a very good technical analyst. And आप सब ट्विटर पे आई थिंक फॉलो भी करते हैं चार्टिस्ट के नाम से. बट पर्पस क्या आज के सेशन का कि कई लोग सोचते हैं कि यार हम लोग फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, क्यों हम टेक्निकल एनालिसिस से भी सीखना चाहते हैं. बट द आइडिया इज कि इन्वेस्टिंग इज ऑल अबाउट पर्सपेक्टिव्स, कि हमें हर पर्सपेक्टिव से सीखना चाहिए. जैसे लास्ट टाइम जब हमारा अरविंद सर सा सेशन हुआ था तो वी लर्न अबाउट स्कटल बट इन्वेस्टिंग. जब हमारा सजल सर सा सेशन हुआ था वी लर्न अबाउट वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग. But in today's session, we learn about technical tools which can help fundamental investors as well, because sometimes we often basically miss this perspective, and this is what we'll be learning in today's session. So we can have a big round of applause for Mr. Himanshu Sharma. Thank you so much for coming.
So good afternoon to all of you. So how many of you are listening to me for the very first time? Get a sense of idea. Oh, wait. So in last session, you didn't hear me out. That was the online session I had with SOIC. No, okay. So technical analysis, it's basically the aim of the technical analysis is that you identify the trend as early as possible, and then you ride the trend till you get the reversal signal. This is the basic definition of technical analysis. So, this one. So this is about me. I resigned from my government job in 2019. It was basically here only Ministry of Urban Development near Udyog Bhavan. So I'm after 3 years standing at a very nearby place. So I completed my CMT and I am certified by IFTA as Certified Financial Technician. So this is what I say. Charles Dow is the father of our field. That's why you see the American stock market index Dow Jones is in the respect of his name, Charles Dow, and his friend Edward Jones. He was writing in 1890s about technical analysis. So it's the study of market action as per the book by Sir John Murphy. It is the study of market action primarily through the use of charts for the purpose of forecasting future price trends. So that's what I said. Aim is to identify the trend as early as possible and ride it till it reverses. Now, let me give you a fair perspective of what is a chart. There is a transaction between buyer and seller at every second of time when the market is open. As long as the transaction is completed, the price is printed on the chart. So most people say it's some sort of a black magic, or there are many myths revolving around charting platform, or maybe like this. You see candlestick chart in media channels, or you must have seen bar charts or maybe point and figure charts. They are just the representation of how you will take a note of the price between the buyer and seller, transaction price. Very simple example, when you go to a nearby grocery store, you get a receipt of your transaction. So on that receipt, it is always mentioned date of the transaction, time of the transaction, price, and how much quantity you bought. Similarly, we have to get some sort of recording process of those transaction prices. Like you sold a stock to me at, let's say, 110 rupees. This time, this second, this is recorded. Earlier in early 20th century, when there were no computers, it was done by hand. So Sir Jesse Livermore was doing all this paperwork by hand. He was recording the transaction price He was noting down the closing price. So you must read a book, whatever book I will be saying, you have to write it somewhere. How to Trade in Stocks by Sir Jesse Livermore. This should be a book you all must be reading. It's, I think, 100 pages document only. So keywords in technical analysis, you have to identify the trend at the earliest, and you must have an exit criteria also at the first signal of trend reversal. I have seen many investors, like they come to me, they say, I was holding this stock, it went up 400%, 500%, but later on it is back to my buy price. I didn't exit at all. So you may see 50 to 100, 200 examples. I can say you Zoom Communications, Peloton, or maybe in American market, you see there was one stock like DocuSign, Roku, they made 200, 300% gain, but now they are back at your buy price. So you missed out the entire profit you made. So that is why on our chart, exit signal is very important. Now, another important point before I start is that when a price is printed on the chart, when there is transaction happening between buyer and seller, now different kind of market participants comes into picture. The shortest one is the intraday trader. What he will do is he will buy and sell within a day, because as long as the price fluctuates, you get opportunities. So he will be buying and selling within a day. Now comes the swing trader. Now swing trader will say, okay, I will, because the stock is moving up, forming a higher high and higher low pattern. So swing trader says that I will capture one swing of this portion and I will churn my capital faster in other opportunity. That's what I think Ishmohit also teaches you in a low margin business. Your capital is your inventory. So you churn it multiple times to generate higher what you say, ROCE, return on capital employed, ROS ratio. So then you come to the positional trading part. In positional trading, what happens? You are holding a stock for 6 to 9 months. That's what basically I do somewhere between swing trading and positional trading. In positional trading, let's say Tata Power started its journey at the price of 65 rupees. It moved till 280 on the chart. So you are capturing the entire move. For example, the second example may be Laurus Labs. So it started the journey from 80 to 100 rupees, and then it went till I think 700 rupees. It gave you the exit signal. So in positional trading, you are capturing this entire move. You are holding the stock for many weeks to many months, and you will be getting out at the first sign of signal. That's what basically these days I think investing should be, because what happens usually, many stocks like Roku, DocuSign, or in India also you have examples like Indian Energy Exchange, or many investors were sitting in Yes Bank also at some period of time. So what happens usually, when you get the exit signal, you must exit maybe some portion of your holding, because as a fundamental investor, you may be having 30 to 40 stocks in your watch list, right? So you have enough opportunities available in the Indian market. In Indian market, there are 7,000 stocks. In Indonesia, where I trade, there are only 800 stocks, though there is nothing to do. If you go to Uganda, only 11 companies are listed. So what will you do there? But in India, you have plenty of opportunities. So once you make money, you must learn to protect your profits made in a single stock. Otherwise, what happens usually? Sir Charles Kirkpatrick wrote a statement in his book. A 50% loss can wipe out a 100% gain. You made 100% in a stock, from 100 to let's say 200. You are holding it. A 50% correction came, your entire profit is gone. It's back to 100 now. So similarly, a 50% loss will require now the stock to double, to even break even. Like you bought it at 100, it moved till 50. Now you didn't cut your loss. So 50% correction now needs that stock to move back 100% to break even only. So if you're see, this is very important statement by Sir Perry J. Kaufman. Risk and reward are not proportional to each other. Your reward can be 500%, 600%, 1000%. Respect risk, because risk has to touch only 100%. So even if your profit is 1000%, risk can only go up to maximum of 100%. So 100% and it's zero. So you have to respect the risk part element in it. That's why I have mentioned that exit criteria is very important. So chart is nothing record of transaction. I already explained you that when you go to a grocery store, the same example. So you are recording that price on the chart in the form of maybe candlestick, maybe bar chart, maybe line chart, Renko chart, Heiken-Ashi. No matter how what method you use, you are just getting the same source of information. What is the transaction price? So often fundamentals take time to reach the investors, and by that time, price had already declined from the top. Now, that's important point basically. Now, all of you are fundamental investors, so I feel fearful to keep my point here because I don't know, like it may offend you some, but let's keep it very simple. Fundamentals, what happens usually? Sometimes a company is sleeping for 6-7 years. Fundamentals are great, business is great, but the stock price is not reacting at all. So what will you do in that case? For example, Jubilant Food is one example. You have the example of Syngene International in India. It's a fundamentally great business, but it's sleeping for almost 2 years. Now in this period, your capital is not giving you any advantage, not deployed at a place where you are basically losing on the opportunity cost. You have many examples like HDFC Life. The business may be great, the story may be great, but the stock price is not performing for a prolonged period of time. Similarly, in Indonesian market, many examples there. Kalbe Pharma, Unilever, Hindustan Unilever, you see for I think 8 or 9 years, it was a sleeping stock. Reliance Industries was sleeping for a prolonged period of time. So fundamentals. Now, on the contrary, sometimes the stock will correct from the top with heavy volume, as we will discuss in many cases. What happens? There is no underlying change in the fundamental. So fundamental information will take time to reach out to you. It takes time because 3 months or 4 months or sometimes 6 months time lag is there until you realize, okay, the story is now changed. But the price has already declined 50, 40, 50, 60% from the top. So that is why where the charts come handy in here. Next. Next. So this is the example, the recent example, the most discussed talk on social media now in US market. You see that this is the monthly chart. So this is a candlestick chart basically. So you see one candle is 1 month of record. I think some of you must be new to charting. So white candle means the price closed up. Black means the price closed down for that particular month. It's very simple. These are like shadows of the candle, which we call wicks. So if you see here in this candle, so this long wick suggests that the price went down till here, but it came up and closed somewhere here for this month. So this is the wick of the candle. So you see now the stock corrected from 355 to $5. So it's in a too much hurry. Like I think 7-8 candles destroyed almost 80% of the gain you made. Only 7 to 8 months of that activity. So if the information is reaching out to you maybe 3 or 4 months later, your stock has corrected, if you see at the top, from 355 to 180, only in 3 to 4 months. So your entire profit is gone. I think I'm assuming you may have taken entry somewhere here after COVID, because this was a COVID fall. The stock went back up. You must have taken entry somewhere here, or maybe if you're a great fundamental investor, you must be holding somewhere here if the story is good. So within 3 to 4 months, the stock is back till here. So just a question to you, like I posted on Twitter also, if your gain is 400% and the stock corrected 50% from the top, how much are you left with? Like you may think later. So this is another example, Roku in the US market. This chart pattern I will discuss later. This is the double top pattern. In monthly chart, this is the monthly chart value. The stock is back at the same level. In fact, much lower than the post-COVID buy point in here. So that's another example, right? Next. Okay. This has some lag in here in the remote. Yeah, Indian Energy Exchange is the Indian example now, the Indian stock. So you see now the stock moved up. Sequent Scientific, one more example, DocuSign. This is Meta platform. So I haven't got the updated chart right now of Meta platform. So I don't know exactly what's the price right now. But if you are holding it, you should have exited somewhere here. right? So we'll be discussing how you get the exit signal. You must have protected your gains now in here, because the stock will give you the opportunity once again when it forms the base, or otherwise you get the another opportunity, and your churn your capital this way to generate much higher return than you're generating right now. So this is a book basically written by Sir Robert Wigan, and his book is more inclined towards fundamental investing, but he's discussing about in many places uh, about technical analysis tools in his book. So you must read this book. So fundamental investing is all about identifying a great business. That's what you do. First, you analyze whether the business is great to be invested or not. And then you calculate the fair value. That's what we call the intrinsic value. And then a fixed some percentage below intrinsic value, you tend to buy the stock. That's what we call it margin of safety. In chapter 22, Sir Benjamin Graham has discussed in his book, security analysis, intelligent investor also margin of safety. But what happens that, okay, you analyze that this business is an undervalued business, fine. But it's your analysis, not the market's opinion right now. Try to understand, you as an individual investor sitting in your room has identified that this business is undervalued. Fine, this is undervalued. But what is the catalyst that will change the perception of the masses? Because you alone thinking it to be undervalued is of no use. The price has to move for you to make money. Price will move when everybody will come together and think, okay, this is the catalyst in the company. For Indian Energy Exchange, it was power trading. For Bombay Stock Exchange, there were many examples, Laurus Labs, like the market share in the HIV/AIDS category. Then many examples in the market. Many times you will think the business is undervalued. Now, Suntech Realty went down to 145 rupees, the real estate player of Mumbai. The stock became so undervalued that time that 180 rupees was just the inventory divided by the number of shares for the company, Suntech Realty, a Mumbai-based builder. So the business is undervalued. You bought it. Now, the perception of all the investors alike should change towards the catalyst. Like they should get the catalyst for the price to move. That is where technical analysis comes handy, because there are two options. You got it undervalued, you bought it. Second option is you wait for the price to react. You wait for the volumes to kick in, so that you are now sure that institutions or maybe retailers are now getting interested in this story. And there is a catalyst which is completely out. You save on that time, because undervalued business can stay undervalued for a prolonged period of time. Now, these days, what happens? When you buy a business which is undervalued and it moves quickly, you get an overconfidence bias that, okay, I am a great stock picker and the stock moved quickly. But there are plenty of examples also wherein the undervalued business was sleeping for 6 years or 7 years. Like you see, Aarti Drugs was one case. The stock didn't move for 6 years almost in a range, and it moved 400% immediately when it came out of the range. So this was one case. You see, this is the monthly chart. I'm using TradingView software. If you are a beginner, you can log in for free on TradingView and scan for the global charts. So you see, 6 months, the stock price was sleeping in here. So you have one option. You analyze it is undervalued. Fine, it is undervalued. But what is the catalyst here? And will everyone think the same way as you are thinking? Is it undervalued? And then the buying kicks in. So the second option is you have is let the price come out of this range which it is forming. So as soon as you see the longer basis leads to very stronger breakouts. When the stock consolidates for a prolonged period of time and it comes out of the range, it's a very strong breakout. It happened in the case of Bombay Stock Exchange chart. It happened in the case of Tata Power also. So now you see here, that's a 400% jump in just 5 months. So, and then as usual, that after this move of 500%, the stock has to sleep for months to digest the gains. So that's where other forms of tools comes in, like stop loss, technical time-based stop loss. That will be like more advanced thing. So you got my idea that undervalued business can stay undervalued for a prolonged period of time. United Spirits was one example. Now BPCL is one business. If you open the chart for 6 to 8 years, stock has done nothing right now. So this is Syngene International, the recent example now in here. So the stock is great. Mangalore plant of API production will be active. Everything is fine. Management is good. Management may be good. Now you see here, the stock is sleeping for 2 years. Now this is not ordinary period. This period is the COVID bull run, where even many stocks moved up 400, 600, 700%. And you see here, this stock for almost around 2 years now, October 21 to this month would be like third month, beginning of the third month of sleeping stage. So what are your options here? This business is great, everything is fine, but price need to move for you to make money. So that is where, like, you have an option, you can buy it when it comes out of this range. So you can use your capital elsewhere during this period of time. That is where you can save your opportunity cost, like basic economics. So this is Kalbe Pharma chart. Indonesian, it's a competitor of Nestle in Indonesia. You go to any supermarket store, you will find the products of Nestle and Kalbe aligned together in every mall. So you say 6 years, the stock didn't give you any return, almost 6 years. This monthly chart from 2014 till 2022, almost 7-8 years, stock didn't do anything. Now it comes out of range. Now it's the right time for you to purchase the stock. And as anticipated, the stock started its journey from almost 1800 level to 2100 in a very small period of time. So this is the updated chart now. When you buy in the range, now you start getting some return. Otherwise, now those people who do not use charting at all. I'm not saying forcefully to use it, but some people do not use it. Now, in this chart, and there is one government bank, Bank Mandiri in Indonesia. If you open the chart, if you have access to TradingView, the stock was sleeping for 5 years. So someone was holding the stock for entire 4 to 5 years. Now you are not using the chart. So a lady, when the breakout came out, she exited. She said, enough of it. Now 5 years I am holding with no returns. So when the stock started coming out, she got frustrated. Okay, mera bhav aa gaya. Oh, it's okay, goodbye. Because many investors, many traders who do not use, they are waiting for their price to come back because they are sitting in loss. Now you will think of making money when the stock is above break even where you bought it. If it is below that, forget about making money. You will be thinking, mera bhav aaye pehle, so I should exit from this stock. So when it was the right time for the stock to perform from 9,000 level to almost now at 10,000, 10,500, she already exited. And now she is saying that, okay, I exited, now it started moving. So this is the common saying, like, when I exit, the stock starts moving, because you are entering and exiting at the wrong price. So this is Hindustan Unilever chart. Now you see here, this period 2001 till 2012, for 12 to 13 years, stock hasn't made any money. Now you can argue, you can say someone is holding here maybe. So you see from 71 to almost around at 230, 240 level. So it's almost not even 4 times in 7 years. So, I mean, for you, it may be a great return, like 300, 400% in 7 years is still a phenomenal return. But you compare it with the opportunities other stocks may have provided you during this period of time. So you see here, almost since 2012, 2000 till 2011 and 12. So you see 12 to 13 years, no return. And after that, it came out of that range. You enter here and you capture the entire move, right? So that's how you save on your time, because again, great business, everything great, but it may stay undervalued. So that's why you say many schools of investing also sometimes have those periods of less than par returns. So Reliance Industries was one another example. You see this period from 2010 till 2016. If I compare it from this region 2008, okay, this was a 8 crash. It came back up. Then you see since 2009 till almost around 2016, 7 to 8 years of no return. So recent examples also, so many: HDFC Life, Syngene International. Now people are stuck in the stock, Indian Energy Exchange. So whether the stock will come back to regain the glory or not, you are not sure. Also, in most of the cases like Mastech or persistent system, if you open the chart, the stock made a move of almost 10x. Mastech was made a move, I think, around 300, 400 to 3000. Now, many have missed the bus already. They didn't invest in it. The stock moved up 10x, even at 600, 700, they missed it. They thought it is now overvalued, or maybe it ran up so high, they missed it. Now the stock, when corrected, so you must look for a fresh opportunity in these kind of stocks, because what happened, they have made a move of 10x. It is exceptional that they will break out and again make you 10x. It's rare, very rare. So you see Mastech, persistent, even though you may buy, but you cannot expect that those phenomenal returns that they gave in their 1.5 or 2 year period of time. So now you see the young age companies like Rainbow Children, or you see these new companies are coming up where you make money. Instead of going back in those same old leaders like Loris Lab made a move of 600% already. So to expect it to go back above 700 and again make 7x move, 4900, it's very rare. So you must deploy your capital in a new opportunity immediately, because after every crash or correction, you will find new leaders kicking in. The old leaders will not participate in the rally again. So the exit is important. Like I already explained you, 100% gain can be wiped out. So many investors have, like everyone has an entry plan. So exit plan is what they do not have. So entry, everybody knows, like some will buy even though the stock is moving up or has moved up. Like some will buy CDSL around at 1300, 1400. Tata Elxsi, one of my known one, is now buying at 10,000 rupees, 10,500, thinking that the company is very strong. Now the stock corrected till 6,000. So no matter the business is, even in a fundamental investing, you say, no matter how great the business is, if you are buying it at a very poor price, so your investment is almost nil. If you are buying Bajaj Finance at 4,800 before COVID, you haven't made any money yet. I think it's now at 6,000, 6,500 level. So this book you must read, Technical Analysis by Charles Kirkpatrick and Julie Dalquist. Or you see here, business dynamics are changing faster. So what happened? You plan for a 2 or 3 year vision. I mean, that's my advice. That's what I follow. I think for 2 year or 3 year in terms of when I'm following the price. I don't think of a decade now, because business dynamics are changing very fast. So you read a book by Sir Peter Diamandis, The Future is Faster Than You Think. So if you read the book, they are discussing many exponential technologies that are converging together. So tomorrow, it might be possible that a new tech comes and your business is out of the park, which you analyze. So have a view of 2, 3 years, and then you continue the journey will there. So what you as an investor can do, you can open a price and volume chart. Basically, in technical analysis, don't go too deep into it. There are 500, 600,000 indicators selling in the market. And there are many tools which will create analysis paralysis. So keep it very simple. Price and volume chart is what you know. What is price? I already explained to you. Volume is number of transactions in a day between buyers and sellers. So any stock, you open the chart, you are fundamental analyst. You can check the chart of Varun Beverages, which have made money for you. You can check the chart of Rainbow Children. You can check Loris Lab when it moved up, Balaji Amines, Alkyl Amines, and CDSL, BSC, Tata Power. You open the charts when the price was moving up, and then you open the volume. So you will see that every chart will have volume accompanying. Whenever the price moves up, volume is very high. So it's basically institutional investors' entry or the strong hands who are buying that stock. Mirza International, Finotex Chemical, they are recent examples. Elecon Engineering, there are many examples. You can use TradingView software. Moving average, which we will apply, is 200 days. My honest recommendation is, if you are an investor, don't open the daily chart. Just open the weekly charts. Don't go to daily. Daily will be like too much noise for you to handle, and you will be forcefully pushed out of your holding. So don't open the daily chart, just open the weekly chart, apply 40 period moving average on it. What is moving average? I'll explain. You just need a good stock screening software. There are plenty of them available in the markets because you need some screening. That's what you also do, like in fundamental investing, cash flow screener, earning screener. So yes.
Our holding, actually we are holding 30, 40, 30 stock. If we don't want to, we just want to follow technical analysis for our fundamentally holding stock.
Yes.
So can we use this for?
Yes, you can use this, sir. So what happens usually, whenever a stock, there is a concept of stop loss in technical analysis, time-based stop loss. Usually there is no defined time period in any book. In technical analysis, what happens, suppose your stock, let's say you decided 6 months. So beyond 6 months, if any stock in your portfolio doesn't perform, you will maybe get out 50%, you will trim it and will put that in another winner in your portfolio, which is moving up and coming after a base. There may be some 1 or 2 names in 40 names. So this way you will be churning your portfolio, allocating the capital smartly. So you come out like Aarti Drugs wasn't, I think pre-split, it moved till 32, 3600. So then it slept for 4-5 months. So if you get out 50%, you will avoid in case the stock falls down. You also avoid losses. And this way you ride onto your winners basically and exit from your losers. Start trimming it after 6 months.
If we want to use a pyramid kind of a thing, then also we can use, let's say we have a holding of 20, 30 stocks.
Yes.
And we want to pyramid. Technically, we
Yes.
can do it pyramiding, fundamentally also, depending upon the results, etc.
Yes, sir.
Or some news.
Hmm.
But technical analysis also we can use is, let's say I'm holding X stock
Yes,
and
sir.
it's about to break out.
Yes, sir.
Then I can add more or it's
Yes,
breaking
sir.
out.
Yeah, in TA also we do, like I will be explaining on the chart, there are some levels where you add on to your share. Like you bought 100 initially, you bought 50 more at the next level, 25 more at the next level. Why we recommend this? Pyramiding is of 3 types basically. One is like inverse pyramiding, 100 you bought, then 200, then 400. This is usually not recommended because your average price goes up too high. One is the horizontal pyramiding, 100, 100, 100 you buy. One is the pyramiding, which we call, where the term comes from, pyramiding, because you're buying 100, then 50, then 25. That way, you are not buying at an expensive price, and also you're not moving your average price too up. Like you bought at 100, so average price may reach till 120 or 115. So you will buy little when it goes up. So trend, yes, sir.
Show the Reliance chart.
Hmm.
So it seems that it is sleeping for the last 12 months
Yes.
also.
Now,
Now,
yes, sir.
is it true? To understand?
Now it's in an upward channel, sir. Like I posted that chart on Twitter. I don't have it here.
No, you showed the Reliance
Yes,
chart.
yes,
No?
Reliance chart.
So it seems that for last 12 months, it is in that same range. It is not able to break I'm trying
The
to.
range is little bit at an inclined angle, not
Okay.
horizontal. So
Okay.
you can say little money it has made for last 12 months. So that's what I answered to sir. You can have some mental time-based stop loss, where beyond maybe 6 or 8 months, you can decide the time, 6 months, or let's say 8 months, or maybe 9 months. Beyond that, if a stock doesn't perform, I will start trimming it. 10%, 50%. I cannot say to exit 100% because you are an investor and the stock hasn't given you any exit signal. The only problem with the stock is that it is not performing. So in that period, you can exit just little or start trimming it. We call it like trimming if the position in there. After a time like decided by you, maybe 1 year, your time maybe 9 months, 1 year, what suits your personality? Because GMM Fodler was one example. Loris Lab, for 1.5 years, it was sleeping. If you would have trimmed it, at least you protected loss on the remaining 50% capital. Because the stock gave you the exit at 550. So now the stock is much below that.
Okay.
Also the time gap.
So when you were talking about pyramiding,
Yes, sir.
You said buy 100,
Mhm.
buy 50, buy 25. So we are treating these 3 as different trades, that means different capital allocation, or it is part of the same allocation which is going into 100, then 50 or 25?
Usually, sir, there is no one way in it. What you can read a book, Momentum Masters, where there is a round table interview of 4 traders. They are traders basically, but in chapter number 3 on position sizing, you will find the answers of Sir David Ryan, Dan Zanger, Mark Minervini, and Mark Ritchie. So I personally follow the rule by Sir David Ryan also, that what suits my personality. I may go in with initially 10% or 5%. Maximum allocation will be 20% for my case because I'm actively looking at the chart. Maybe your maximum position size, what suits you, maybe 12%, 15% in a single stock. I don't recommend more than 20 or 25 because it's too much risk. So now maybe you buy 10% initially, then 5 more and 2.5 more. So 17.5 you'll go in. So it depends on initially how much is the exit away from your buy price. I'll be coming on the chart during that portion, sir. So trend is basically, Sir Charles Dow wrote in 1898 in his work, you are watching the ocean, like you are too close, ripples, and then waves, and then tides. As an investor, you are interested in tides, the broader view, broader trend. These days, people are making mistakes that they are going too deep in day-to-day fluctuations of the stock price. That will not help you. If you are an investor, you are better off just looking at the chart once on weekend rather than watching it Monday to Friday. So it will be a mess for you. So you are interested in tides, or maybe the wave, not going too deep into ripples. Trading is glamorized basically. Intraday and swing trading is glamorized. So you have to focus on the primary trend. It is very simple. Just open the weekly chart, 5-year weekly chart, 5-year data. You bring a kid in front of the computer screen. He will tell you whether the stock is moving up or down or sideways. There are only 3 trend directions possible. You go and buy onions tomorrow in the market, either the price will be up, down, or same price as yesterday. So uptrend, downtrend, or sideways. So why am I simplifying? Because there is a book written by Sir Stan Weinstein. It talks about stages 1, 2, 3, 4. So now these days people come and say, is it stage 1? Is it stage 2? Don't make anything complex. Make it very simple, either uptrend, downtrend, or sideways. Just 3 terminologies will help you. You're not interested in short-term fluctuation. This is policy bazaar, clear downtrend. So anyone can say it's a weekly chart, so don't touch it. Now, many are interested to buy even this. Nika, Paytm, they think that they are buying cheap, but cheap is not always the best. So Yes Bank, many were, I think 1 year before, 2 years before, they were interested to buy. So many penny stocks have the same stories. Like many got delisted, and many were like went to there is a list, dirty dozen list submitted by NCLT to to I think the tribunal which were handling the cases. So there are 12 companies which became penny stock. Few of them become like Ruchi Soya. Otherwise, most of them you will lose your money, you will lose your capital. So cheap downtrend, no, you shouldn't be interested in it. So this is the up now. This is 40 period MA on weekly chart. This was the COVID fall. This is the COVID fall. Now you see here the beautiful chart, Varun Beverages, not even giving you one time the exit signal. Someone who bought here, see one thing very clear, every strong stock will wait for some months or weeks. It will give you either this diagonal down sloping line or the horizontal line. If the line is like this, there is no entry point for you. So hold it peacefully. When the stock is in an uptrend, it will be diagonally sloping down or diagonal or a horizontal line. Like this, you see the third time. I'm not going deep into pattern. This is cup and handle pattern. I'm not going into deep into it. So now you see here, this was your first entry. If you missed it, you just draw a horizontal line from here. You can buy somewhere here. And then you see, this is the 40 period moving average. What is moving average? It is the average of the past 40 weeks closing price. because price is fluctuating too much, up and down, up and down. You need a parameter, you need a number. Okay, this is the past 40 weeks moving average. So this is a red line drawn on the chart, earlier done manually, now by computers. So as long as this moving average line is sloping up and the price is moving up, there is nothing wrong in the stock. Keep on holding it. I will come to the selling part, selling climax. That's the exception to it. Like, so that's how you see. You buy some portion here. Now, maybe you can draw a horizontal line here also, like here, you see. So you can buy second time here and third time here. So fourth time, I usually don't buy. In the initial 3 buys, you are fully in the stock now, 15, 17% position. Otherwise, the fourth buy is too way up. Like in Tata Elxsi, you say it started the move at 900 level. Then if you are buying fourth time at 6,500, 7,000, not an intelligent buy. Usually in technical analysis, some traders will buy here also because they will exit at the stop loss, but for investors, not recommended because you are now holding 15, 20% of your portfolio in a single stock. So this is an uptrend, a basic chart of an uptrend. You just call a kid, a very naked visual analysis will do. Yes, sir.
Okay. Two questions over here. Firstly, when you said on the diagonal sloping line, what made you decide that whether this should be a 10% allocation, matlab stock, just purely on the chart basis? First question, or 10%, 5% or 15%, what allocation you should be giving? And second question is that why we only see 40 EMA, why not 50 EMA or 30 EMA, or like why only 40 EMA?
First, sir, basically what happens if you're entering somewhere here, so below this you will exit. So let's say the risk is 8%. Now it's mathematics. Your trading bet should be, you should not lose more than 1% in a single bet. Not more than 1%. So if your stop loss is 8%, you can build a size of 12.5% mathematically. Because 12.5% position hits 8%, you lose 1% of your capital. So if you're from entry to your exit, if stop loss is 5%, maximum you're allowed to go 20%. So if that 20% size hits 5%, you are out and lose 1%. So that's why we then divided it in pieces. 20% I can go. So 10 I will buy now, 5 if it proves itself. If you are a daring trader, aggressive investor, you can buy 10 at the next spot and you are done. But 10, 5, and then 2.5% like this, we go up. So that's how you decide the position size. Risk depends on your personality. Like if you are conservative, aggressive, if you are like conservative investor, then stop loss 8%, allowed size 12.5, you will start with 6.25. Let the stock first prove itself. Even the management doesn't know what will happen after 2-3 years. They give a general commentary. So same in here. You don't know what will happen. So if it starts proving itself, then you slowly increase the allocation. There is no one fixed way. Many methods, many books recommend many different strategies. Like some books say, when it moves up 2% from your buy price, buy more. So 2% is nothing from your buy price. So I don't recommend that. So that's how we decide the position size. 40 EMA is 200 days moving average. Earlier, there were round numbers being followed. We have an answer of why 21 days is being followed, because they were trying to capture the 1 month cycle. Similarly, we have 63 period. These are Fibonacci numbers. So round numbers, they were interested in 50, 100, 150, 200. Technical analysis is all about behavioral finance. Like most people following the same thing, that's why it works. So 40 became too popular, 200 MA. Otherwise, you won't find an answer why 200 days MA. 200 is roughly a good number, or the 40-week MA. Very clearly, sir, 40 on weekly chart is 200 days, because 40-week moving average. If you use 40 on month, you will be destroying your all portfolio, because 40 month is 40 multiplied by 22, which is roughly in 1 month, 22 trading days. So that's how you get 200, sir. So very popular, everybody uses it. So that's why it works, 40 MA based on behavioral finance. So this is the example of an uptrend. So we're discussing only the price on the chart. You see when it is moving up, you see when it moves up, see the volumes in here. The blue is when the price moves up. You see, when the price moves up, look at this big volume bar. I think it's related to some MSCI rebalancing. I got the news. But anyway, you see, whenever the price moves up, you look at the volume on the chart. And whenever the price falls down, there is no one exiting in here. No volume in here. So these are the institutional entries, right? So that's what Sir William O'Neill writes in his book, How to Make Money in Stocks. This is not your neighbor Aunt Susie buying the shares. This is not your 100 share buying. This is the entry of some strong hands. When the price moves up, you look at the volume. So that increases your conviction. Only price and volume chart. That, okay, institutions or maybe the strong hands are interested here. That they will propel the stock up. So just as like the rocket needs fuel to take off, you need volumes for the stock to take off. So, listen.
Please recommend a book on the method of allocation you gave the example of.
There is only, sir, one chapter in that book, 2 pages only. So, book is by Sir Perry J. Kaufman, Trading Systems. So, actually, no need to go through the book because it's a PhD level material. So, no need, just basic is enough, sir. Like I explained you, the basic mathematics, it is enough. Otherwise, Perry J. Kaufman. He prepares the CMT material now. He was invited to write for CMT Association.
You take the decision from? Is it based on the weekly close price?
I will come to it later, sir. Basically, what happens if you wait for the weekly closing, it's on Friday. I have in last slide some recent examples. So I will be sharing like Syngene example. Now you know the chart. You have to set the price alert. So your broker allows it. When the price crosses it, it pops up on your mobile or system. You get an idea, okay, this stock is moving up now. So if it closes above that level on Tuesday, I will enter on Wednesday. I will not wait for weekly closing because sometimes some stocks blast off till Friday close. They are like up 10, 20%.
That was my
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Just a question. If there is a fundamentally good stock, and if it breaches 40 moving average with high volumes,
Yes, sir.
so if I enter with SIP, so can you do a broad comparison between putting SIP, because generally it will be a structural story for a very long time,
Yes, sir.
and I'll keep on compounding my money. So can you do a broad comparison between what I said and what you said, like averaging up?
So we have like you are doing SIP in an uptrending stock.
After it has broken 40 MA with heavy volumes.
So
And I have already studied it because it is a fundamentally good stock.
usually it's there is an upcoming negative news or maybe negative story kicking in about the stock if it is a high volume, if it is with high volume. So being a technical analyst, we respect the price, we respect the volume, because what happens usually, many fundamentally great stocks that, like I explained, when they fall down, you may like turn off your SIP, at least not put fresh money in it, because you do not know what is happening right now in the business. So when it breaches the 40 MA with high volume, because if it's breaching 40 MA, I'm assuming it is already down 20-30% from the top. When it breaches further 40 MA with high volume, that's a very scary sign actually. So I will not put the fresh money in. At least if you are doing SIP, you then can wait not to put fresh money in that stock, because some story may be kicking in. Well, that's what my experience is. Price will not lie in this case. So it's going down, wait, MA will stabilize. If you still love that stock so much, usually what we say, do not love or marry a stock. That's the first thing. Like never marry a stock. As long as it gives you exit signal, there are plenty of opportunities. You can switch to another or at least protect your capital. But still, if you are in love with that particular stock only, that this will only make money for me, then in that case, you can at least stop the fresh SIP and then wait for the stock to consolidate itself, form a base. And when it moves back up again, then you can start back again. Back up means I will come to it like 40 MA when it comes above that level. Like Amara Raja battery was perfect example. Now it starts moving up 40 MA, gave you the signal again. Otherwise, it's a dead money for a prolonged period of time. So role plays by volume is very simple. Price moving up with strong volume must catch your attention. Weekly chart, 5-year chart, and there are 2014 listed companies on National Stock Exchange. So once on weekend, I personally go through all the charts. If you can do that hard work, maybe, or if you are just interested in 750 names, Nifty 100, Nifty 500 plus Nifty Microcap 250 is what I recommend you must track weekend. It only takes 2.5 hours to check all 750 charts, flip it, and immediately your eyes should go on the price and volume action. So when price moving up, volume is very high, it must catch your attention. The stock must come into your watch list now, and then you will start exploring the story behind it. So that's one way to scan the charts. So Phenotex Chemical was one example in here. Weekly chart. This was, I think now it gave the exit, or maybe I'm not sure. I haven't seen the updated chart again. So you see here, the stock never gave you exit sign throughout the journey. It started almost around at 40, 45, or you can say this was the COVID fall. It came back up. Now from 34, this is in the month of November, and then moved till 400 level. So you have to then protect your gains only. So moving average, I explained you, this is the latest end period closing. 40-week means the closing average of the previous 40 weeks closing price average. You basically are smoothing the price. That's what we call it, smoothing. So moving, it's called moving because as the 41st day will be added, first will be removed. 42nd day, second will be removed. That's why it's called moving. It's used as a trend filter by all the fund managers also, with whom I know. Like anything below this 40 MA, they consider it to be bearish. The moving average, if it is sloping down, then not worthwhile to consider it. Moving average, like you see plenty of beautiful chart, Varun Beverages, Indian Energy Exchange, so many examples in here. When the moving average is sloping up, price came up, you make good money in that during that piece of trend. Why to sit or pick a stock which is heading down, right? So exponential moving average is nothing. There are many moving averages, Hull moving average, exponential, simple, Wilder, parabolic, SAR, many moving averages. Exponential means in the calculation part, you are giving more weightage to the recent data. In simple, you are just taking the simple average of all 40-week closing prices. In exponential, you are giving more weight to the recent data. So I think next year. So this is Bombay Stock Exchange chart. See the very beautiful chart. You see the price heading down. You are not interested. See the moving average sloping down. You are not interested. It tried once here, fell back, but there is no signal in here. You see the price forming lower high and lower low pattern. This is the basic Charles Dow theory. This is the COVID fall. The stock went back up, fell down again till 40 MA, then went back up again. Now here also I may have entered here, but I waited because you see this is the swing high. You can enter here also somewhere, but now you see I am clearly waiting for the breakout above the, we call it breakout when the stock crosses the resistance level. Resistance is where the stock faces the selling pressure of the old buyers who are trapped in the stock. This is the definition of resistance. So now you see here, the stock came out, now you buy. Now it's the right time to buy. MA slopes up, and then you went up till here. Now this is selling climax. We will discuss it, selling climax. You look at the volumes in here. Even before you enter, you see the volumes in here. That it must catch your attention immediately. So you see when the stock falls down in here, look at the volume part. No selling in here. When the stock comes back up, look at the volume. This is not retail entry. Retail entry is never united on a single day, right? So
You talked about the entry before the arrow.
in here,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
I may have taken, but I'm waiting for the clear-cut direction. I may miss the initial move because if I take entry here, there is a resistance sitting out in this zone. So I will not take entry in here.
But suppose if you took entry
Yes, sir.
and then the stock went down.
Went down, I will be exiting because this low is my stop loss, this week's low. Because
So
if I take entry here, I would be exiting below this level. But you see here, even this level, the stock didn't close below this level. So
will an exit come? If you took entry there,
if you take entry here, your stop loss would be in this sum zone, in here, in this zone. So even below this, the stock didn't close it. So if you are following the trigger basis stop loss, there are many methods of stop loss. Trigger basis, your level touched, you are out. One is closing basis. I don't recommend closing basis for heavy position. If your position size is 15%, 20%, you are waiting for the price to close below this level, then you will exit, then you will lose money if it is a free fall in those cases.
the entry, if you took before the arrow,
Yes, sir.
did an exit come?
Yes, sir. Exit will come because it's more than, I think, 10, 15, 10%, I think, more than 10% maybe. 250 to almost 100.
So
18.
again, only if you are interested in the same stock, will you take entry at
Yes.
the arrow level?
I always have a separate watch list of deleted stocks. They will set up again once. Karur Vyasa Bank is the recent example, just last week. Went down till 94, 95, I think, and then shot up again. So this market is a very good market for you to learn shakeouts. It's throwing out the daily traders out from the stock position. Only the serious one will be able to hold their stock now. So now you see here, if you enter here, it's
Sir.
a cleanup.
What do you make about the huge red volumes? I mean,
Here,
no, just
In here.
next to the, before
Yeah.
this.
just one day I will not exit, sir, because I didn't get the exit. I will exit only if you are an investor. See, there are many methods. You see the stock will move up, will form one, will relax a bit, consolidate and again shoot up. So now here will be your stop loss somewhere here.
Okay.
Now the stock again relaxes a bit and then shoots up. Again, you will bring up your stop loss here and then again here and then this zone because it is moving up now. When it moves up, it consolidates, it moves up. Here will be your stop loss somewhere here.
Okay.
Now-
So
yes.
huge volumes with a breakdown. That would be your exit. I mean,
That will be my exit. But
Okay.
we exit only in three cases. One is if this level, if the stock moves up and falls back, this level is breached, I will exit. First case. Second case, the stock free falls suddenly below the moving average. Second case. Third is the selling climax. Selling climax is when after a stock has made like first, this is a fast moving express train. First platform, second platform, third platform, after fourth or fifth platform, the risk of dumping by the institutions will increase. The stock has made a move. The store, everything is priced in. That's what we do in. You must have done that in fundamental analysis, PE expansion. The stock expanded like your anticipated earning, even if it kicks in, the stock is still very expensive. That's called PE expansion. So you have to, Tata Elxsi was perfect example. So now you see here in these cases, now you get a selling climax later, stock makes a move of 100% in 1 week, 2 week with highest volume. You must start trimming that position initially. So that's a risky bet. But for investor, it is difficult basically. So you will be holding the stock. You can maybe trim or you do not trim at all. Just follow this stop loss and then it comes in. And you have to, this is the disadvantage in trend following. You cannot sell exactly at the top. You have to give back some 5-10% of your gains. If you, yes, sir.
what happened, like, let's say, if we could discuss few cases at the present, like how the chart is going at present, and like 4 or 5 cases at least. So that we can-
Yes, sir. So I was actually riding this trend in IEX also. So what happened, CDSL also I was riding. So when a selling climax kicks in CDSL, in the last stage was a selling climax. I remember. Yes, yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Delivery
Mhm.
and all that.
Mhm.
But now I want to go by this. But live examples, retrospective.
I will come, sir, once. With the recent example for the entry, I will come in. For exit, was like I shared just 1 month before GHCL chart on Twitter. So that was perfect. But there are many examples. TV18 was one chart. Tata Communication I shared on Twitter. So these are all like recent live examples when you have to get out immediately. With TV18, what happened just before 20% circuit, it went up the level. Immediately it came down. So there was a candle structure in there. So there are many examples I shared on Twitter. I think I don't have in the slide. I will be discussing the entry examples in here. So maybe I will be posting more and more charts on the recent example. Recent, I shared many of them. Saregama was one. CDSL was one. IEX was one, where you get the selling climax kind of activity. Deepak Nitrite was one. So, yes, sir. There is a down.
So on this breakout, you have a very large candle, right?
Yes, sir.
Here. So let's say it went up 10% or here. So would you enter at this level, or would you wait for it to sort of settle down, the price to settle down, and then enter the stock?
Sir, see, there are many styles. I'm saying
Yeah,
one are conservative investors, moderate, aggressive investors.
right.
Like I answered, sir, I will enter on Tuesday closing itself if the candle closes. It depends on my homework and my hard work. If I have this stock ready in my watch list, then I am following it closely. So in that case, I will be entering on maybe Tuesday or maybe on Wednesday. As the price crosses, I will buy. This is the most aggressive entry. Then a most aggressive one. Then the aggressive one is he will wait for the Tuesday close, Wednesday close.
Right.
Third is the moderate entry, where you wait for the close, you enter the next day. And then is the most safest entry, where you wait for the price to close and then you enter for the week and then you enter on Monday. But in that process, you can imagine your risk and reward relationship will little bit fluctuate out of your favor. So there are many entries based on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair point. Thanks.
So you say price, volume, and moving average.
One request, please. Can you give some readings on institutions' ways of entry and exit, when they enter and exit? Any book on this?
Yes, sir.
Any book on institutions' role? How they
There
play
is a
role?
book written in 1931 by Sir Richard DeMille Wyckoff, The Method of Tape Reading. So unfortunately, he died at a very young age. When he died, there were 2 lakh subscribers of his work. He was writing. Richard DeMille Wyckoff, sir. So Method of Tape Reading. So now you see this chart. GHCL was a live example when I shared on Twitter that time. Actually, I'm not going deep into it. I alerted at that third. Here I alerted because here was the signal coming in. You look at the red bar volume. Whenever the stock now falls down, the volume is very high. Now what happens? Sometimes what happens, we will think this blue bar is a buying interest in here. So you see this blue bar, you will think this is a very strong candle. You have to combine it with price. Price didn't close strongly up. This is, I think, this area. You see, no candle is very strong. If this is see, blue and red is your fixed color. It is just number of transaction between buyer and seller. If price moves from 100 to 115, 15% up in a single day with a strong volume, that means buyers are very strong. They are getting into a stock. But if you see this big volume bar in here live, you see the price didn't close strongly. So this is a clear signal despite these number of shares. Who is buying? If the price is not moving up and still you see, this is clear case of institutional dumping. So you'll be practicing on the chart with price and volume. So this is where I was like posting this chart. Now you have to stay alert in here. But as an investor, will you exit? No, you will not exit because you have a clear sense of rule written. So, but you get a fair bit of idea now. There is an alert level set here. You see, when you see here, price moves up, look at the volume. Now, I am interested here. You see, price. Can you see this bar? Candle? Price closed strongly up. Look at the volume. Why? What happened in this case? No buying whatsoever. You see the price rejection from the top, right? In this case, GHCL, previous one, sir. I think I pressed it. So this is how you analyze the price and volume combined together. Volume should be high, but simultaneously price should be closing near the upper end of the range. The bar should be stronger one. Candle should be a thick body candle. It should not be that the price is getting rejected from the top. Now it will appear, even if the price closes 1 rupee above, it will be a blue bar. But it is a case of selling, institutional selling. So this is previous slide. Okay. This
in
one.
that, after the blue bar, the big one, where you have purchased for the first time.
Yes, sir.
After that, there is another blue bar, which is the big volume one.
Yes, sir.
And just adjacent to that, there is a red bar. So what that indicate? Because volume is showing red.
Yes, sir.
So how do you read that?
Basically, any stock will not move up vertically. It will consolidate for 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks after it made a move. Because what happens that institutions also don't buy in a single day. They will time their purchases in maybe weeks or maybe months. What happens usually? When a stock moves up vertically, it will be a GameStop kind of story, American story, where you have to then immediately offload your shares if it happens. If otherwise, this is healthy development. A stock moves up, it shouldn't correct too much. I'm not going deep. There are Fibonacci ratios, numbers in it. Don't go too deep into it. It shouldn't correct too much. It shouldn't. This is the institutional entry. Now, there are strong entries in here. Now, this is very natural for a stock to consolidate and retracement. We call it retracement. It will retrace a bit. Weak hands, traders, they will, short-term traders, they will start booking their gains. So that's why you see this little bit retracement on every chart. And then if it is strong, it should move back up very strongly.
Okay. So your criteria is volume is there, but because the price is not moving down, so that's why it's not a concern point.
Not a concern point, sir. Not a concern point. Very natural. Short-term traders, and they will like take an exit from the point.
So if in this, sorry, I'm
Yes.
just clarifying this point. If in this case, the price would have moved down maybe by 10%, would that concern you, or you would only see the trend line? If
No,
it has
as
no
an investor,
trend line?
I am only interested it moved up. I will shift up my stop loss somewhere and let it react naturally. Because as of now, like sir said, in hindsight is we are watching. But now let's say live, it is happening in front of you. Your stop loss is here in mentally somewhere in this zone. So let the stock react naturally. Otherwise, you will sell immediately with just minor fluctuation of 5-8%. Let the stock react naturally. And when it bounces back up strongly, then you get to know the character of the stock. So,
Thank you.
like Sir Mark Minervini says, statement by Bill Burger that he buys tennis balls, he sells eggs. So otherwise, it's a rotten egg if it falls down. So that's how you know about the strength of the stock.
Himanshu, just a question from my side. So, like this, like book में तो ये लिखा था this is something linked to volatility contraction pattern as well. So वो तो सब कुछ है. But just a question कि how important are the volumes? Because suppose on days it is moving up on strong volumes, and जब आपने बताया कि short term trader stocks and retracement over stock, and the volumes are very down on those days. So how significant is the importance of volume with linked to price action? Just so everyone can understand.
Very important part, volume. Volume is the number of transactions between buyers and sellers. if the stock on a particular day moves up 20%, 15%, 10% with heavy volume, that is not retail entry, because retail is not acting as a group. So when you say even in the chart of Mirza International FCL, many examples, when the price moves up with volumes, it is a very strong signal that something is happening, cooking up in the business. So immediately as a fundamental investor, you will jump in the annual reports or con call, there may be something coming up. So volume plays a huge role in telling one is the accumulation and distribution. Sir, ask the book. The book is Richard Dimilwikoff, Method of Tape Reading. In that book, what he says is in the book, institutions will accumulate the share before the news is out to the public. That's what he says. Now, from my experience, this happens. What happens usually before the positive result you may have seen, or maybe a positive news about a company, the stock sleeps for a few weeks or few months. That's what we call volatility contraction. The volume will come down, the price will be in a range, but they cannot avoid the detection on the chart. What happens usually in that particular range, when the price moves up, the volume will be high. When the price closes down, volume will be very low. This is the sign of accumulation. And on the final day, when the news is out to the retailer, maybe 6 p.m. news will be out, they will press the all buy buttons, all buy orders. That's why you see the volume kicking in, because whatever is left now will be purchased. That's accumulation. Now what happens in accumulation? See, very important two term, breakout. Breakout will be very strong. It will be with heavy volume. Like the breakout level is 100. You intend to buy the stock. Now, after 5 minutes, it's 105, 106. Now, many will leave the stock. Volume is very high because everything has been done for the past 1 month. What is now being left is being accumulated immediately. This is the sign of a strong breakout. If a breakout is with less volume, it's likely to fail. It may be a case of dumping also in this case, because what happened? This was the market of false breakouts since October 2021 till now. Till now also you get false breakout. The stock is being pumped up. Retailers kick in to buy thinking it is a genuine breakout, but the volumes are not there. The stock falls back because they sold to you. So volume has a very, very important role. Price and volume, accumulation and distribution. Now, many books written. The most important one is by Sir Richard Dimilwikoff, Method of Tape Reading. Yes, sir.
Can we come back to the as an investor, it makes sense that if I'm entering in the month of say May, when it is giving me a fresh breakout and there are very heavy volumes.
Here,
but
sir.
What if next year, May 21?
Okay, May 21 in here.
Yeah, like you're getting a fresh breakout, there are high volumes. It gives all the parameters to enter.
Yes, sir.
But what if I identify this company, say in just before May 2022, when we have already seen a lot of upside?
Yes, sir.
May 22.
May 22.
Yes.
Here.
Just before this.
Okay, okay,
Over
here.
here, when again are seeing a lot of high volume, and I am seeing this chart for the first time at this stage. I'm interested in the company.
Yes, sir.
So how do we make out that whether we should be entering at this stage, whether since we have already seen that kind of an upside, but still higher volumes are seen there in last 2-3 months. But suddenly after these last higher volume, suddenly there is a huge drop. There are no big selling shown in the volumes, but the price has come down from 1100 to say 580.
Yes, sir.
Which is almost more than 40-45% of drawdown. But no heavy selling is coming in that segment. We are not seeing any big spikes in red volumes.
Yes, sir.
But price has come down. Higher volumes were there at the last stage when there was this climate kind of upside. As an investor, how should we judge this company in these last stage of early stage of 2022 when there are high volumes? Whether we should be entering on it?
Sir, this is the live chart of Tata Communication, the Tata Investment. You open the chart once. Same query you have like in the Tata Investment chart. Made a move. Now the stock is sleeping. Now whether you buy or not. Same chart of Aarti Drugs. Moved from 800 to 200 and slept for long. Now you see here. You think that this is a buying volume. combine it with price. You look at this peak, this week, the stock moved up. I think in 2 weeks, it moved up 40 to 50%. You see this week. This is not a healthy sign. The volume is very high. No doubt it will be blue because the price still closed above the open price. But you see there is a long wick, selling rejection. So this is not a healthy sign. If volume is very high, price should close near the highs. The body should be very big. But now you see here, so not a healthy sign. Now the stock is correcting and you are entering it too late. You see here, you are entering it too late. And also there is no entry in here because there is no base formation, nothing at all. The stock is like falling in here. So I have to wait for the base formation at least. There is a base formation in Tata. Trend, yeah, I'm not going deep into secondary trend, which we covered. Primary, secondary. This is ripple, tide, wave, and ripple. Wave is down. So that's why we always buy in the direction of the trend. Anything that is moving up, you must buy. So in the direction of the trend, we buy. As it moves up, we buy. As it moves up, we buy. Why I will not buy here? Because it's moving down. It's playing against the direction of the trend. We don't buy. This one. Here.
Exactly over here. Big candle.
Yes, sir.
Very, very high volume.
Yes.
And against without the hindsight, because in hindsight we've seen that
Yes,
it's
sir.
come down. At that particular week, it is giving me the highest volume and highest tick bar on positive side. So as an investor, should I be considering?
So your 3 entries will already be done. 100. Then again, you will buy somewhere here, and again you will buy somewhere here. Yeah, you can buy here, but then you have to exit if it breaches this level. Yeah, and then your stop loss will be there. So as a trader, I can enter anywhere. My stop loss is fixed, right? But an investor, if you are buying here, then stop loss, sir.
Sir, in this chart,
I think this is the buying source of growth for you. But if we see the
Delivery percentage is another source of information. That what happens usually, delivery percentage is basically how many traders are carrying the stock overnight. So there may be swing traders also like me, sir. Delivery percentage, how high is high for a stock? For some stocks, delivery percentage of 70-80% is a high number. For some stocks, delivery is always 20%. For them, 40% is a very high number. So you will see 40%, you will think that our delivery today is very low. But for that particular stock, 40 is very high. Yes, sir.
not delivery percentage, absolute delivery.
Absolute delivery.
It's increasing.
Yes, sir.
Most of the times I have seen there's a positive trend and it breaks out.
Yeah.
And it's on
So, see, sir.
It's not delivery
Uh,
percentage.
Sir, question was delivery. Absolute delivery. Okay.
It's increasing day by day, week by week. There is an accumulation.
Accumulation, but that's what I say, sir. Even on the volume chart, it will be clearly visible that, okay, there is a total volume, price moving up, you keep it simple, then you enter. So if you see delivery percentage, it's a different number, sir. So absolute delivery, if it goes up, then okay, fine, you can add one more piece of information to the analysis in that case.
sir, in July 22, there's a big red candle with a long wick. July 21, sorry.
July 21. Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah,
Before
no,
even
this
entry,
further ahead, sir.
further June, July
After-
here.
No, 21, sir.
Okay, in
Yeah,
here.
this one. No,
Yeah.
the upper one. Yeah,
This one.
This one, yes. So there's a long wick and a huge red volume.
This one you mean?
No, sir, the one where you're,
one.
this one, yes.
This one I will not consider, sir, because
So
there is
this-
no exit for me.
Yeah, no. But then we'll have to keep it in our watch. I mean, we'll be careful here, right? So in case there's a breakdown, then we immediately get out because of this long wick and a red volume.
Your
The
stop
same
loss
thing
will
is
be
there
to-
in the next chart, next slide where you shared GHCL. There's a long wick with a red volume.
Yes.
And if in case there's a breakdown, then immediately we get out.
Immediately break
And
down.
if
and
there's
you
a
have to
breakout, then we
break down,
continue
you
the
have to
journey.
exit. But this candle, you open the chart of TVS motor, 920 rupees. There was the gap. Then same day, this candle. So that's why I use bar charts. Candlestick charts will be pushing you out from
Yeah.
a stock.
Because
You will be
the action is similar to the one in the next slide.
yeah.
But
next
then
slide.
here it did not break down. It continued its journey. But in that case, it broke down.
That's why I said rule based trading, basically rule based investing. Will not exit.
Little bit of a bull trap, like it is building up and then it's a discount, but it's not a real breakout. Then it comes down. So how to identify those?
That's what I said, ma'am. Breakout is. That's what I said. Accumulation is breakout. What is a breakout? It's the price crossing a resistance area, closing up it with heavy volume. Why heavy volume? Because there is a positive news coming up. Before that positive news, there is accumulation for months and weeks. And on the one final day when the news is about to come to the public, they will be buying all the shares. That's a very heavy volume. Now, contrary to that, if there is distribution in here, negative news coming up, they will be starting to sell the stocks in months or weeks. They have to offload the shares. Now on one final day, okay, I will take up the price high. Retailers will kick in. There is no volume in the false breakout. False breakout, the sign is volume. There is no volume. And the stock falls back immediately in the range. That's called as bull trap, false breakout. I have also shared plenty of charts for false breakouts. You have to get out TV18, Tata Communication, many examples. So in false breakout, then you have to have exit from the position in that case. What is wrong with that? This one. This one. This one. Actually, for investment purpose, I will ignore that because still I have a stop loss. I have seen plenty of cases like in TVS Motor also, shooting star or maybe inverted hammer. For an investor, exiting on like 1 week price action will be risky. Nothing wrong in that candle. But volume, still you can say, okay, comfortably above the average. But still I will be following the rule and have my stop loss at the swing low because these type of candle will be in plenty of charts when the stock is moving in an uptrend.
So my question basically why I'm asking is because that candle coincides with the all-time high production.
Yes, sir.
So there is a reference
Hmm.
and there is high volume.
Yes, sir.
Which is clear of the preceding candle.
Yes.
Next one is also high candle, which is certain high. So basically, rejection kind of formation is happening at previous all-time high, which is a natural resistance for such kind of stock which was in prior downturn.
Yes, sir.
So I was asking why you are ignoring
False breakout case. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean it's a most beautiful location for a false breakout.
So basically what happened, that's what I say, resistance has a definition where the old buyers are trapped and as their price comes in, they will be exiting from the position. So we have a list of like 52-week high stocks also. What happens usually, there was one chart of Mahindra Lifespace. So there is I think one chart of IRB Infra, then Elecon Engineering. The older resistance is more than 1 year away at 8-year, 3-year, 5-year period away. So what happens usually? Why I'm ignoring is this, when I ignored that time also on based on the reason that this resistance is 2018, mid 2017 resistance. That's almost more than 3 years away. So when the stock is moving up strongly, in this case, what happened? This is a resistance. The definition of the resistance is there are buyers trapped here who bought the stock here, and as their price will kick in, they will be selling the shares and the stock will face the resistance. This is the definition of resistance. Now what happens as the resistance goes away, like 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, the weightage of that resistance acting on the price rejection or making it to a downtrend will diminish. So that's why I ignored this false breakout, because if there would have been one more resistance here in the middle or two more here, I would be considering to sell the stock. That's why I'm following my stop loss based strategy because of price and volume and the resistance being very old.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point, but if you consider that as the old resistance, But, let's assume that this is a future chart of LIC.
Okay, few.
Future chart of LIC.
Mhm.
Because it is also doing something like this. It's open, having something 900 odd and has like shifted to 500 odd now.
IPO stock, LIC
Because
corporate.
this is also BSC.
BSC stock.
So the amount of,
Buyers trapped in.
let's say it goes to 900, that will be probably the same location.
Yes, sir.
The kind of that will be. So, are you trying to say that that will not act as a resistance?
If,
it happens
I mean,
in 2025?
If it happens after 3 year, 4 year, and the stock is moving up with heavy volume, I will be giving less weighted to all-time resistance of 900. Will still be following my rule in this case. If the resistance is too old and in 3 or 4 years, there is no resistance in the middle. So the stock is moving up. Like there was the case with Sequent Scientific also. It came from, I think, 160 level or 140 level to the same old resistance. But there are, like I said, if I go deep, there are many cases. You see one more point, just 2017 till 2020, 3 years the stock took to went down. And within 1 year, less than 1 year, all the supply has been absorbed. So this stock is very strong as per my analysis, because same in Sequent Scientific, the stock went down in 3 to 4 years. In 9 months, all the selling was absorbed of all these recent buyers also with heavy volume. So that's why I will give weightage to my principles here, ignoring the old time resistance. So if LIC, let's say future chart of LIC, okay, this is LIC, it moves down in 3, 4 years. Within 6 months, if it comes back to the same level, absorbing all the supply with high volume, I will then, in case, then follow the same stop loss principle in that case, sir. But this was like the another way. I mean, in Sequent also, this thing happened in many charts. I think in Tata Consumer Product was the same chart, where it absorbed all the selling. Tata Global Beverages, all the selling was absorbed in 6 to 7 months only in that case. I have been given 2 hours, right? No, 2. So, okay. Because I have plenty of charts, so like we are discussing BSC and GHCL too. Okay. So next. So this is Tata Power still at the same range. Now this is the recent example, sir. Very recent example. You see the buy point, then the story came in of the charging stations. Then the stock made a move. Now I am closely monitoring it. Because what happens here, now I'm not discussing the chart pattern, otherwise this is my breakdown level. If it closes in here, I'm not holding it now, I already exited it. But if I would have been holding, I would have exited as per the investing rule somewhere here. I will get out. Because now you see, this is the live example. If it moves up, it's strong. But for investing perspective, how many weeks have already passed by? I think a lot of weeks. Same with Loris Lab also, same chart. So this is the live example. So in case there is a breakdown, but for investor like 40-week MA, I would be exiting somewhere here as per the rule. I will exit, sir. Price closing below volume. Usually the stock has already corrected a lot from the top. So that's first signal, sir.
That's the important question. Based on the 40-week average, breaks down below 40-week average any stock and the volume, irrespective of the volume once you get out.
It should be exit signal, sir. Closing below. There are again ways. One way says the stock closes, then your stop loss should be that level where it closes. So if next week it closes, you exit. That's a confirmed strategy. I don't follow that. In that case, the next week it may be a free fall also. So, and also one more thing, the stock has already wasted a lot of your time. Third thing, the slope of the MA will tell you. Now you see the slope is flattening. So it is losing momentum quickly. Now, you never know when it gains momentum to the downside quickly. So then the slope of the MA also kicks in. Next one. Okay, this was the example in here. So you see here, exit somewhere here. As per the rule. As per the rule, exit somewhere here. Now you see the slope. I mean, when you exit, still the everything is okay. If you say me that volume is not so high or price, you say the MA is also not sloping down. But as per the rule, it may move up. You may buy it again when it breaks out. But after this move of 500, 600%, it is too rare for a stock to repeat the same story. So now you would have saved, I think, 1 year. Again, that's in hindsight anyways. But I posted the chart here when I exited at 545 was my exit point somewhere here. So that's how you trade, invest based on chart pattern, and exit criteria you must have 40 MA. One more thing, this point you must note that April, it moved up in April. So this was COVID correction. So this is the way of picking stocks. After every bear market or correction or a crash, any stock that moves back up quickly is the next leader. Sir, very, very important basically. This was the COVID fall. Within 1 month, the stock is back to the high. Laurus Lab was in the 52-week high list. In April and May, alkyl amines was the next one. Then slowly other ones start coming in. Dixon Technologies, Balaji Amines, Tata Elxsi, they start kicking in. So now you see, within 1 month, stock back to new high. So this should be giving you signal that something is cooking up in the business. So after every bear market crash or correction, the stocks that come back up to the same high will be the new leaders. Next. Yes, sir. They're the same, your same query is by the answer in pharma chart. Open the pharma chart of 2013 to 19. The sector was in a downtrend. So after COVID, it broke out. Then these were the first few names. Laurus Lab, if you see, compare it with Cipla and Sun Pharma. So is compare Laurus Lab, made a move much before them. So same theory will apply in sector also. And then in sector, you will go deeper down to filter the stocks. Like auto sector in February, started making a move. Then you start filtering down. You get stronger names, Mahindra and Mahindra, TVS Motor, these names on the chart. So anything that is very near to the high will be the next leader. Next. Back, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Black candle
This one.
Yes. You said that 40 years का breakout.
Yes, sir.
तब हमें ये क्योंकि जिस वक्त वो वहाँ आया होगा 40 ये में आई थिंक दैट वो पीछे रहा थोड़ा सा पीछे रहा इस वक्त उसको टच नहीं किया तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जैसे वो नीचे आया उसके बाद जब ऊपर की तरफ रैली किया after coming up to this down fall then there is a consolidation happening in that scene area वो फ्लैटन हो तो क्या जब फ्लैटन हो जाएगा तब हम उसको लेके ब्रेकआउट तो हमें पता चलेगा after 3-4 weeks बाद
Yes.
तो
This entry.
In this area मुझे पता चलेगा कि ये ब्रेकआउट हो चुका है तो मैं वहां कैसे एग्जिट कर रहा हूँ कैसे
Here you are exiting. Here exiting because it violated the 40 MA also, and if I go deep, it's head and shoulder pattern breakdown also here. This. Yeah, the difference. Yes, yes. Okay, you exited. No. दिखाएगा sir. It will be showing up on the chart. Live. No. It will be showing up on the chart live. Even today, you see, 40 MA is visible on the chart every time.
जो प्रिंसिपल है मूविंग एवरेज अगर 40 EMA अगर वीकली चार्ट पे मैं देख रहा हूँ 40 EMA isn't that last ये 3-4 वीक का प्राइस देगा और we are seeing that it's a higher प्राइस नीचे से ऊपर जा रहा है तो 3-4 मैथमेटिक्स थी था तो 3-4 वीक का प्राइस जब पीछे जाएगा तब वो प्राइस ऐड होगा उससे पहले कंसोलिडेशन थी तो वो आई थिंक लाइक कि नहीं दिखना चाहिए था
No,
in current situation, अभी the last, it's 412 is the price and then 506 is the EMA price, right? So यहाँ पे जो 506 3-4 वीक और
नीचे जाएगा।
then it will finally-
हाँ, slope. I got your point. हाँ.
That's the question. कि यहाँ पे जो ब्लैक वाली रेड कैंडल जो आपने बनाया, उस कैंडल के पास से हमें पता नहीं चलने वाला है कि वहां पे वो ब्रेकडाउन
नहीं, closing below 40 MA will be the exit signal then in that case, sir.
क्वेश्चन है
उस वीक पे चलता है, पता है वीक पे सर।
रियल टाइम का प्लॉटिंग जो
हाँ.
प्लॉटिंग होगा वो थोड़ा पीछे चलेगा, क्योंकि that's why in technical analysis we call all these averages as a lagging indicator.
Sir, there is one stock called Afcon Holding. Open the chart. Israel में है, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. Stock made a move. I got your point. Stock made a move. 200 MA अभी slope नहीं हुआ आप. Then वो 1 year तक horizontally consolidate हुआ. Then MA ऊपर आया mathematically. I got your concept. That's called a mean reversion. Basically या तो price आएगा या MA mean के पास आएगा. Okay. So यहाँ पर live plotting होता है MA का. When you open the trading view application, there will be live MA on the chart. So you will be still getting the close below 40 MA as your signal. That thing I got your point that it won't be flatten up for many weeks because stock immediately correct हो गया. Are you getting my point? Now this is the, I mean, much better exit signal. अगर stock consolidate हो, stock पहले MA flat हुआ होता और stock गिरता तो मैं निकल जाता, लेकिन ये MA फ्लैट ही नहीं हुआ और स्टॉक गिर गया तो मैं पक्का निकल जाऊंगा, क्योंकि इस केस में तो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्रेकडाउन हो गया. I hope are you
There is a key concept.
okay. हाँ.
समझते आज 5 रुपए मैंने खरीदी, कल भी 5 रुपए का प्राइस था, तो एवरेज क्या हो गया हमारा?
हाँ, 5 हुआ then.
5 एवरेज,
Yes, yes.
फिर अगले दिन प्राइस 10 चला, तो अब मेरा एवरेज बढ़ गया. मूविंग एवरेज नाउ स्टार्ट गोइंग.
हाँ.
एक बात मैं सिंपल ऐसे मेरी बात अब गया, फिर 15 के बाद प्राइस 25 चला, नाउ मूविंग एवरेज स्टार्ट गोइंग. नाउ प्राइस यहां दिख रहा है.
हाँ, करेक्ट.
तो यानी कि यहाँ इधर के प्राइस हटेंगे पहले 5 प्राइस यहाँ पे 20 गिर चुका है, लेकिन हटना 5 ही है, 5 ही हटेगा. और ये सारे यहाँ पे भी मूविंग एवरेज भी थोड़े दिन तक अप ही दिखेगा, उसके बाद धीरे करके ऑनकॉल आएगा, तब वो धीरे धीरे करके नीचे गिरेगा. तो मैथमेटिकली जहाँ तक मैं जितना मुझे समझ में आ रहा है कि मैथमेटिकली जब ये प्राइस यहाँ पे आया हूँ, क्योंकि मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि 380 वाले दिन जो 380 का प्राइस था इससे पहले आता स्टार्ट से इधर आफ्टर दिस कंसोलिडेशन,
हाँ,
प्राइस ने एक अंधाधुंध रैली किया.
करेक्ट.
2 मंथ
करेक्ट.
इट मींस दैट 8 to 10 वीक्स के लिए प्राइस बहुत तेजी से रैली किया फ्रॉम 380 to 800.
करेक्ट.
400 डबल प्राइस यहाँ हुआ है.
करेक्ट.
तो लेकिन उसके बाद 800 पहुंचने के बाद प्राइस सिर्फ और सिर्फ 1.5 महीने में ही नीचे की तरफ.
करेक्ट.
यानी कि एडिशन ऑफ द डेटा, एडिशन हुआ, वो डेटा तो ज्यादा है लेकिन घटा जो डेटा वो कम डेटा, यानी कि प्राइस अभी भी थोड़ा सा अपसाइड ही दिखा रहा हो, लेकिन मूविंग एवरेज अभी ब्रेकडाउन नहीं दिखेगा, थोड़ा दूर रहेगा. मतलब आई मीन आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट अगर वो 506 पे दिख रहा था या 550 पे दिख रहा होगा, उस वक्त का मूविंग एवरेज में 500 ही दिखा रहा होगा. ये अभी ब्रेकडाउन आया नहीं होगा. दैट्स व्हाट माय कंसर्न. क्योंकि I understand that कि अगर मूविंग एवरेज मेरा पैटर्न आउट हो रहा है, then एक रेड वॉल्यूम का कंसोलिडेशन वॉल्यूम कहीं ना कहीं से खत्म हो रहा है, तो ठीक है, चलो मैं एग्जिट कर रहा हूँ. लेकिन वो ब्रेकडाउन जब जिस वक्त हम बता रहे थे कि यहाँ पे ब्रेकडाउन ये चार्ट हो चुका है, इसलिए मुझे दिख रहा है कि हाँ यहाँ से मैं निकल जाऊंगा. जब लाइव हम मार्केट में रहेंगे और वीकली क्लोजिंग को अगर चेक करेंगे तो वहाँ उस वक्त वहाँ पे ब्रेकडाउन नहीं.
मैं आपसे ये कह रहा हूँ, आपके ही क्वेश्चन में मैं बोल रहा हूँ, प्राइस नया ऐड होता गया, 100, 200, 300, 400 लेट से रैली हुआ, सो लेट से नाउ प्राइस 350 पर है. मूविंग एवरेज आप कह रहे हैं 200, 250 पर ही पहुंची, अभी अपडेट नहीं हुई. अब अगर प्राइस वहां से इसको ब्रेक कर देगा एक वीक में, मुझे ये डेटा तो पता है मूविंग एवरेज का 250 पता है, वो 250 का ब्रेकडाउन हुआ तो मैं आंख बंद करके भाग जाऊंगा. करेक्ट. हाँ, Correct.
यही मेरा पॉइंट है, यहाँ पे अभी जो डेटा दिख रहा होगा ये 400 let's say whatever the price, एक assume कर लेते हैं 500 ही दिख रहा होगा, तो that's what my point is that breakdown हुआ नहीं, अगर ये breakdown आया नहीं तो 500 है.
The moving average is visible on the chart जो आपका पहले वाले के हिसाब से आप बोल रहे हैं, डेटा नया ऐड हुआ.
कॉल होगी उस दिन मैं लिख लूंगा ना.
Actually, I don't have trading view. It will be visible.
So go ahead.
No, 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 no.
And after that,
Sir wants to answer on.
there is a very this moving average is not variable. It is fixed. So it was there this side, and the one which you are seeing at 506 now. After 40 weeks, if you go back to this date, it will be at 506. So it is not fixed. What is showing on this date will remain average line that is not showing. It is there at that point. It was there that day. And the sudden weekly fall is very big. The sudden
Fast.
fall on that candle is very big.
So next. So relative strength is a very simple concept that your stock is outperforming against a benchmark. Benchmark can be Nifty 50. If you invest in Korean market, you will be taking the Kospi index and you will be checking in past 3 months, whichever stock has performed better than the Kospi index, you will be having that universe of stocks in your watch list. So there is a book written by Sir William O'Neill, which explains, I think on page number 189, he has done enough research on RS strong names. And he has mentioned that RS usually, it's his proprietary rating. So let's not get deep into it. But RS, you get an idea that if Nifty moved 10% in past 3 months, your stock should be moving more than 10%. So you will maybe do this filtering every week, on every weekend, you will scan for those stocks that are performing better than the benchmark index. So you get a list. Now you will ask me, Tata Elxsi, let's say you got in this list, I think in Tata Elxsi came up in this list at 700 or 750 level. So still you will be getting that name in that watch list, and sometimes those stocks will keep on outperforming for another 1 year or 1.5 years. They make the entire move. So relative strength is one of the best way to pick stocks. You have to select the stocks that are performing better than the benchmark for the past 3 months. Now, when you do this exercise for the first time, you will see many stocks have already made a move of 200, 300%. But when you do this regularly, you will be focused on the list. Immediately, if any new name enters the list, you will be aware now, okay, now it has started performing better than the market. Same was the example with Mazgaon Dock or Kochi Shipyard. So the GRSC, GE Shipping, they started coming up in this list, performing better than the benchmark. And when you scan, so you can read there, that's the one of the wonderful book written by Sir Richard Love, Super Performance Stocks. I think chapter number 7 on RS. Otherwise, it's much inclined to the political cycle. Robert Levy, one book, Professor Narasimhan Jagdishan. This is a research paper written in 1993. And this PDF is available. All the PDFs are available freely on internet. Sir Meben T. Faber, Relative Strength Strategies for Common Sense Investing, 24 pages PDF research paper, where he explained that if you scan stocks based on 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 9 month, 12 month performance, all have performed better than the benchmark. The portfolio designed based on that. So 1 month usually is a short time because sometimes due to news, any stock may move up 20%, 40%, it will pass your scan. But 3 months is a pretty fair bit of, will give you a pretty fair bit of idea on those stocks that are performing than the benchmark for the past 3 months. So you get a universe of important stocks. The top 20%, top 30% stocks you can focus upon. Next. So these are the research papers. I think Shmoit will share the PPT so you can read that. Yes, sir. Our relative strength index is an indicator basically. It compares the strength of the stock with respect to the same stock. Relative strength compares the strength of the stock against a benchmark. Nifty. That's relative strength comparing with the benchmark. If you are comparing with itself, RSI mentioned by Sir Wells Wilder in 1978 in his book RSI is comparing the strength of the stock with respect to the stock itself for the past 14 days. There is a formula of it, 100 minus 100 upon 1 plus RS, up by down, not needed for traders, for investors, not needed. RSI. Next. So these are the books you can read. Richard Love, Super Performance Stocks, and one Indian version by Sir Prashant Shah. So outperforming the market. So you can read this book for relative strength. Next. So what is RS? I explained to you that in how can you, God forbid, if there is a crash, maybe 4 years later, 5 years later, how can you scan for the next leaders? The stocks that will be coming back up to the high quickly, they will be the next leaders. Same in American market, same in Indian market, same everywhere. So this way you can increase your odds of picking the next leaders. Same was the chart of Loris Lab. Then Mirza was one. Then you see Dixon, alkylamines. You open their charts and see when they quickly came back up to their highs after the COVID crash. Balaji amines. Then Tanla platform. There were many names. Tanla was little late, but many names before that. Loris Lab was, I think, the quickest one on 23rd April. 23rd March was the lockdown. If you open the chart on 23rd April, it moved back up to the same high. Next. So it's a summary, basically price volume 40 MA on weekly charts. You can follow a simple line you can draw and you can make money. So no need of fancy jargons. So a strong moving up stock will give you entry either diagonally sloping down or flat. If it is sloping up, it's risky bet. You cannot enter because there is no right point to enter that stock. And relatively stronger names, you can be picking up your universe. I think top 20% will be 300 to 400 stocks. Out of them, 200 to 300, I think 100 to 150 will be circuit names, like Expro was one, Electra Green Tech. They were in the list for a prolonged period of time. Then there was one BCG, I think BCG group, or one stock which moved up 20 times from 10 rupees to 400. So there are many stocks like that you can ignore. If they are circuit names, you can build on, you cannot build on big size in them. So next. So these are some chart patterns I discussed before also on one webinar with Ishmohit. Next. So you can read these books on chart patterns. Basically, if you are interested, you can learn about them. There are chart patterns that give you entry and exit signals. There are four. Next. So there are four broad categories of chart patterns: head and shoulder, cup and handle, rectangle, and triangle. So this forms along the journey of the stock. Not every time you see the chart pattern on the chart. So don't force a pattern if it is not there. So head and shoulder pattern, cup and handle, head and shoulder. So this is head and shoulder pattern. Your stock is forming higher high and higher low. I mean, for investor, you just keep it very simple. Like I said, if the low is broken, you get out. Or if the 40 MA is broken, you get out. Not for you. I'm just giving you a broad idea, like you can explore this field of chart patterns also. Like you see, your stock is forming higher high and higher low, and suddenly it starts forming. It fails to move back up to the new high. So this is an alert sign, so that before even 40 MA is breached, you are knowing that this stock in your portfolio is now weakening. Like Tata Power example I shared, or Loris Labs example I shared. So this is the gap. Don't go deeper into it. It's a breakdown. For you, it's exit. Next. Left one. This one, gap. Okay. So adjustment. Okay. So next. So these are all examples you can like quickly maneuver through. I think Ishmohit will share the PPT with you. Next. Yeah, okay. So Acrisil was one chart where you can see the stock actually in head and shoulder pattern. Your exit will be definitely, you are an investor, either the breakdown of the swing, because once it moves this high, You will moving up your stop loss somewhere here. So if it breaches this level, you are automatically out. So even without knowing the pattern, you know what is head and shoulder pattern. Your stock, all I am saying is that on the right hand side, the stock fails back to move up to the new high and you get alert. Only this you can do. You cannot sell it because many times stock will spend time and again will gain strength. Tata Elxsi at 5400 level. It was a false, head and shoulder. It didn't break down. It started moving up. Same with Adani Green chart. So many examples. So you will exit only at the breakdown, at the confirmed signal. Next. So Dabar India was one example. Next. So these are all examples. Nykaa, I think it was born as a head and shoulder pattern. See, the stock failed to move back up to the new high. And this was, you can call it false breakout also, but very short period of time. Now came back down, then not a buy. So next. So this was a Nifty Financial Service Index when the financials were weak during that time, November 2021. So next. So this was Nifty 50 index when the correction actually started somewhere here. Open the chart of DMart, IEX, Balaji Amine, Deepak Nitrite. Open those charts. See the price action in the third week of October. So third week of October, IEX, Deepak Nitrite, DMart, CDSL, all had that selling climax top, coincidentally. 1 month after the big Amazon breakdown in US market. Amazon broke down in September. Then third week, not a coincidence, the selling climax in all the stocks at the same time in October. So if I go deep, there are ways to identify them, getting too close to the market top. 6, 7 parameters, 8 parameters. So this was one, selling climax, false breakout. Again. So next. So NASDAQ 100, one chart pattern, head and shoulder, same time as Nifty, correction began. Next. Anthony West handling cell. I don't have the updated chart as of now in the PPT, but you can scan for it. Next. So this was Johnson & Johnson. I charted it completely that time. This was inverted head and shoulder. Then there was a head and shoulder breakdown at the top. Otherwise, no need to go deeper. If you're an investor, no need. If you're interested, you can explore. Otherwise, fine with just price, volume, and 40 period moving average. Next. So Pidilite was one chart. Next. So DMart, again, climax move. Third week of October, 21st October. 18th October, third week of October. All the charts, IEX, CDSL, DMart, Balaji, Deepak Nitrite, from 3000 to 2600, 2800. Same week, all the charts. This was the signal. Second signal was exhaustion gap was filled on Nifty chart. And then many stocks broke down. And then after that, in 1 or 2 weeks, false breakouts, on many charts. And then RSI divergence, then so many parameters in there. Advanced decline ratio we use, like how many stocks ended in green, how many stocks ended in red, advanced to decline ratio as a market breadth. Only if you are following it regularly, you will understand. Only in 1 or 2 days, you won't get it. Market breadth. Then number of new highs and number of new lows, this ratio. This is called a Norman Fosback indicator. No need of that name, actually, no need of the name, but keep an eye on how many stocks are making new highs in the market. You will sooner see 100, 140, 120. But when the market heads near the top, number starts coming down, 80, 90, then 60, 50, one parameter. Then number of stocks above 40-week moving average. We call it number of stocks above 200 MA. They start coming down, 50 MA, number of stocks above 50 MA. In the month of September, 473 stocks out of 500 were above 200 MA. 473. 473 stocks above 50 MA. 413 stocks above 200 MA out of 500 in the month of September. 1 month later, October, 200, 250. Last week of October came down below 50 MA in November. So these are some tools which you analyze to get in close to the top. Next. Camlin fine size was one example. Otherwise, if you are an investor, your 40 MA will be somewhere here. So you will be exiting, I think somewhere here maybe. Next, sir. Inverted head and shoulder is thus reverse of head and shoulder. BSc, someone said it's an inverted head and shoulder, same chart. Next, sir. So Datadog in USA, next. These are all examples. Your stock basically falls down. It stops forming fresh low and breaks out. So this was a false breakout in Jubilant Food. Now it's at 535. So next chart, sir. So Anaconda Copper was one chart picked from Sir Edwards and Maggie book, 1932 classical work. This is the head and shoulder pattern. Why I shared this? You see, it's already in an uptrend. Then the stock forms inverted head and shoulder and breaks out. As an investor, you will add some here. Why I shared this? Because there is a myth that inverted head and shoulder pattern is formed only after a downtrend. No, even the stock is in an uptrend. Loris Lab near 250 to 270. You can check the price chart. Inverted head and shoulder pattern in Loris Lab chart. So you buy again when it breaks out. Next chart, sir. Maruti Suzuki was one example recently. It went till there. I think went till some 95, 9600. I don't remember exactly. Now back again. Next chart, sir. Sonic Healthcare is the Australian stock exchange. Like we were analyzing this. I was hitting inverted head and shoulder. See, already in an uptrend. Then the stock falls down and again it breaks out. So if it breaches 40 MA, I will be out. If it moves back up again, I will buy this stock. So this is Sonic Healthcare. Next chart. HCL Tech, very simple. The previous example, inverted head and shoulder. Next chart. Everest Canto Cylinder was one big inverted head and shoulder. You buy somewhere here. And then you see it made a move, very strong up move. And then same exit criteria for you, like we discussed. Next chart. This was a brilliant chart. This was actually, I came on Twitter for the first time. So I bought it around at 65 rupees. Somewhere here I'm buying. So what happened usually? In here, you see downtrend, 40 MA, I didn't plot, see the inverted head and shoulder. And then here the story started kicking in of charging stations for Tata Power. Then the stock made a move of 270, 280. So you see, now many times fundamentals start coming in later and the price makes a move initially. Next, sir. Ujjivan Financial Services, this chart I shared, on Twitter. Inverted head and shoulder pattern, very strong breakout it was that time. Volumes were kicking in. Now here you see, when I was analyzing this chart, this has history of false breakouts. Like many times it will move up 40 MA, but that's the part of investment. You have to take a bet. And this time volume was also not very high volume. So it was just a 5% position, not more than that. After it starts proving itself. So now you see, you will see plenty of cases like this. Volume not high, price more making a move. You can maybe start a pilot position if you have that stock in a watch list. So then it started proving itself. I think somewhere here now it is 250 or somewhere 300. Next chart, sir. So next chart. So this is the failure pattern. The stock fails to see. That's what I'm saying. Do not exit unless your system says you to do so. System will say only when 40 MA is breached or your stop loss is hit. Otherwise, no. You see here, Bank of Baroda again regained strength and moved till again 180, 185. I think the closing is 188. So Bank of Baroda. So touch for investor like 40 MA closing will not do. I think might not have breached 40 MA. This line. Yeah, as an investor, like you will wait for the closing. There are many methods. Trigger basis, it is triggered, you are out. Closing basis, I don't recommend if the position size is too heavy. Then the other method is average base stop loss. You will exit at 100. You have 900 shares. Stop loss for 300 shares at 105, for 300 at 100, for 300 shares at 95. So if the stock hits and moves back up, you still have 1/3 quantity. This is average base stop loss. Many methods. One would have exited for the trigger basis somewhere here, but it depends. I haven't drawn the 40 MA. Where is the 40 MA? I don't know exactly. Yeah. Now, if you are holding it, this for me is the false breakout. So I will exit somewhere here. already. So I will not try. If I tried again here, maybe I am out again. That's what.
Any reading on putting stop losses various times?
Any reading? This book has Sir Charles Kirkpatrick and Julie Delquist, and one book by Sir Perry J. Kaufman, Trading Systems and Methods. This book has. Next, sir. Tata Motors, what that see this was a failure of inverted head and shoulder. Anyway, if you're an investor, your 40 MA would be breached. You would be getting out. I don't know which MA. I think this is the 200 MA. This is the Tata Motors trade. So inverted head and shoulder. Only the chart patterns are important. Like when, if you can go through one or two books, it will be better. If not, then simple method that we discussed. Next, sir. Next, this was a fall, and this Tata Elxsi. This was the failure of. It can be ascending head and shoulder or descending head and shoulder pattern, or a complex also. No need to go too deep into it. Next, sir. So next, these are examples you can study from the PPT. There are many. Next, sir. Yeah, next. So this was Adani Green. Then Tesla, I think it went down. Cup and handle. Next, sir. So this is a very profitable pattern, the most profitable pattern, because it is very simple to spot, and it signifies the shift of the stocks from the weak hands to the strong hands. That's how accumulation is done basically. So the stock corrects. Those buyers who are trapped, they will wait for their own price. Some fresh shorters are there. They will short it. Now the stock corrects. And here, those who miss the bus, they will be buying. There are plenty of market participants playing here. And because of their buying, the stock moves up. Some shorters will cover their position. The stock moves up. And now you see the stock will face the resistance again. But one thing important for you to note, the stock didn't move back to the same low. Stock moved till resistance, but it failed to move back to the same low. So it went back up from here. So this is the healthy sign on the chart. So anyway, if the stock breaks out, you have to take an entry. So next, there are many examples in here. You can continue. Next, so many in there. Next, Triveni. Next, so many. BSC was one, then Polyplex. Next, I think Ishmohit will share the PPT, so you can see the chart patterns. All are like just the chart patterns. Next, sir. Yeah. So this is the triangle pattern, very difficult pattern to trade. Next, very difficult pattern to trade basically because it penetrates the lines too many times. You can read it. Triangle pattern are basically, there are four broader themes of chart pattern: head and shoulder, cup and handle, triangle, and rectangle. In triangle, we have ascending triangle, descending triangle, and symmetrical triangle. All three can break in either direction. If you want to read the book, there is a book written by Sir Thomas Bulkowski, Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. He has a website also, thepatternSite.com. On it, all the patterns are listed. So ascending, descending, symmetrical can break in either direction. Then the fourth one is broadening wedge, which is very difficult to trade because it is broadening. So the boundaries separate from each other. Then there is one pattern, pennant pattern, also under the category of triangle. The stock makes a very sharp up move, then consolidates and form a triangle, a small, and then it moves back up again. So this is pennant pattern. That's why we club them under these categories. So similarly, we have rectangle pattern. Sir, next. All are these bell trade. Next, they can like cover it in. So we'll move it to the last subset. This is like the Kalbe Pharma, KPIT. These are all chart patterns. So these are all examples I have highlighted. InfoEdge was one breakdown, BPCL. So this is rectangle pattern. Same, the name suggests that there will be a rectangle consolidation. You have to buy above the line. Titan breakdown. Huh? A very heavy audience of technical analysis. Basically, there is a book written, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. So he has highlighted that when I am traveling in Nepal, he is getting the telegram in Indian Embassy office. Then he is mentioning that the stock is in the range of 100 to 120. He never mentions that rectangle pattern. He says the stock is between the range of 100 and 120, and when it breaks out, I will buy. So I send the letter to my broker, whatever he does. So now when later on his price has been recorded where he is exactly buying and selling, sometimes it's a pullback and there is a retracement and he buys. Now people have termed it as a rectangle pattern because they think that what he's mentioning is rectangle. He's not only mentioning rectangle, also mentioning the retracement and when the stock breaks out again to the same high. So sometimes the stock will retrace and will be in the same range. So then you can say it is a rectangle pattern. So not only rectangle mentioned by him. That's why I am not using the term Darwin's box. Listen, next. So all are example next. Yeah. Titan was breakdown that time, Adani Green, and Zebra Technologies in Nasdaq, Gujarat Alkalis. This was one, not so clearly. Sanyo Homes is the Taiwan Stock Exchange company. I don't have the updated chart. When I was charting, this was a very, very long rectangle pattern. So rectangle has a subset, double top or triple top. One example, sir, next one. So rectangle pattern, if a stock touches the same level 2 times, fails back to new high and breaks down, double top is completed. The myth, no, not the myth, actually the mistake is the stock touches the boundary on the top second time, people call it double top. Double top is never completed unless the stock breaks down, because unless it breaks down, how do you know it is a double top? It may fluctuate in rectangle or maybe form a triple top. Double top is the most powerful reversal pattern. The stock breaks down, you get out from the trade. The many chart. This was Nifty 50 index weekly chart. Next, sir. Apollo Hospital was one. Stock fails back to make new high. Biocon, immediately after it gave an entry, it broke down. S&P 500. Next, sir. Suprajit Engineering was one chart. Next. Prior uptrend or in for the double top, or after the correction stock rallies. Biocon chart, 270 or 80 level. Stock rallied up, then again fall, and then again fell down. In range, you will not call it double top. It won't be double top. Yes, sir. Next, sir. India Mart Intermesh, next, sir. Dollar currency index, it was a double bottom breakout at 91, 92. And it went till 113, 114. Same, I think in October, November. Same when the our market also topped. Next, sir. Cosmo Film was one next. So Amazon was the September breakdown. I think much before September, Amazon breakdown with a gap. Very strong. This was the news of new CEO coming in when the stock broke out. And then you see the double top pattern and it broke down with a gap, huge gap. Next, sir. So this is Nasdaq Costco. Next. Persistent. Next. Sir. Praj Industries was one double top pattern. Very painful stock to trade because it had already made a very strong move. Now, if you anticipate the same 10x, 20x move, very difficult. Next, sir. Biocon we shared that time. Apollo Hospital was one. Next, sir. Lal Petlab. This was the exit signal as per the chart pattern. For an investor, if you don't follow chart pattern, then MA and little late, but if you are understanding chart pattern, it will be beneficial for you. Otherwise, 40 MA and the swing low concepts. Sir. Next, sir. Next, sir. Just one in here. So these are the recent examples I am tracking. Now you see here, sleeping stock, Syngene International. So you can buy at that blue line or maybe the dashed line. So this dashed line will give you an early entry. But this is diagonal line are difficult to trade for a beginner because immediately when it breaks out, it faces resistance at the horizontal line. So I usually take first entry at the diagonal breakout and the second one if at the horizontal breakout. That was the chart of Devyani International. Diagonal and then the horizontal. Next, sir. Wellspun Enterprise is a recent example. You see the stock in a downtrend and then it broke out. You see the broader picture on monthly chart. Open the monthly chart of Wellspun Enterprises. It broke out. Now will it continue the journey? I don't know, but I have to follow the rules. So I will be entering at the breakout and then will be riding the trend till it goes. Next, sir. So this is Punjab National Bank, recent example. You see the MA sloping down, then the stock formed a base, MA became flat. Look at the volumes. Now the stock broke out. Now the entry would be somewhere around 47, 48 level. And then now 56. Now you do not know whether it will be resuming the trend, but you can only place your bets accordingly for your watch list. Next, sir. This is Usha Martin chart. See the entry many times, very strong chart. Look at the volumes. Look at the volume. You get the entry in here. Let's say you see the entry again. If you take entry here, I would be getting out because my stop loss would be hit. You see, I got an entry here. First entry. Secondly, you see, do not know the chart pattern, no problem. Now you see, second entry would be here. Third, you can maybe draw a horizontal line in here. You enter here. Again, a rectangle consolidation, stock moved up. Now it is correcting. Never a closing below 40 MA. Never. And this is a triangle, symmetrical triangle. So when it breaks out, again an entry. So a very strong chart, moving from 25, I think 25, 30 rupees to now 130. Next, sir. Any doubts? Yes. Sir. Next, previous chart, sir. Sir, previous. This one. That's what I'm saying, sir. For you, your 3 purchases would be over.
Yeah.
But if you want to add like 500, 600 shares, 300, 100, then maybe 30, 50 more if it breaks out. But your stop loss will also come up for all the shares. So no harm in buying, but stop loss will be higher now for all the shares.
Okay, but still you will take as a fresh entry if you would have been the first time buyer.
If I am a first time buyer, I will prefer something coming out from the low.
Yeah. No, at this stage, or you will say no, at this stage it's too much heavy.
No, I will always have 10 to 15 names in the watch list. Not watch list, buyable list. Then in buyable list, I will give less priority to this one.
Okay.
More priority to the one that is breaking out for the first time, like Elecon at 190 and Mirza at 70. Mirza was recent last year breakout, 70 rupees. Last year, I think this year, 70. So next, sir. Ultratech Cement, you do not know whether it will fly up or not. It's a investment category, large cap company. Will not move up 2-3 times in a year. Very difficult, very big size company. So you don't know whether it will continue or not, but still you can place a bet as per the trend reversal criteria. Next, sir. So this is HDFC Life. See, almost since 2021, September, now 1.5 years completed. September 20, no, 2 years, no return. So now the MA will be flattened up, and if the stock gives a breakout, I will be placing the bet. So this is a live example, HDFC Life. Next. Oh, sir, just have broader picture, sir. Uptrend, downtrend, sideways only. Don't go into stage analysis. Next, sir. In your rally gear, I am tracking it. Have not given a breakout yet. Ramakrishna Forging is one chart what I am tracking. Look at the volume in here. See, but the problem is that the price is not strongly closing. So if it breaches, I will buy. If it doesn't, then I don't have any love for any name. You have a watch list of 15, 20, 30 names. RK Forging, volume is good, but here there is a problem now. When the price falls down, when the price even moves up, volume is not too high. So this dashed line is my alert in trading view. If this level is crossed, the machine will alert, then accordingly you will be buying it. So these are some recent examples, sir. So this Gravita India, look at the chart now. This week, current chart, this week breakout. Look at the volume. See the volume in here. So here I would have exited somewhere. Then again I will enter here now. Saving this thing 20, 30 weeks maybe. 20, 30 weeks of time. So That's it, sir. So thank you very much, sir. If you have any question and answer, sir. Thank you very much. So any question and yes, sir.
Technical analysis, that you said that strategy or the chart identity like 10 to 15% role,
and the rest of the matter is psychological. I mean, 80-90% technical analysis is psychological in nature. So what ideas or habits would you suggest to align our psychology more with the chart analysis or technical analysis?
You have to write the rules, sir. Buy rule and sell rule. To write it down. And then you have to analyze your own trades. Whatever trade you take, I usually take a printout of the chart. We'll keep it in every month, analyze the trades. Like December will finish. In January, you will be relaxing. February, you will take the printout of December trades because you need 1 month of activity also of the price on the chart so that you know what happened after I sold it. If you're an investor, maybe 2-month gap. You have to analyze your own trades. Then you will understand this is the mistake I'm doing. So best part is analyzing your mistake. Second part is writing your buy and sell rules clearly. Like if you are selling randomly, then you won't be able to catch a big move. So otherwise rules are different for swing trader. For you, charts won't be too much. Just maybe in 1 year, maybe 10 to 15 or maybe 20 charts which you are writing. You have to analyze your mistakes and you have to write the rules. So this is the right way, sir. So then you will understand. Then third matter is like I personally learned from Sir Minervini, Sir David Ryan. So what they do is basically what I also do now. Buy, sell, and cutting your losses. You bought a stock on the chart. Grade it. Was it a too early buy? Was it a too late buy? Or was it a perfect buy? Then sell. Too late, too early, or perfect sell. And cutting your losses like same 3 categories. You took 100 trades. How many were perfect buy? How many were too late buy? How many were too early? The fourth point in the buy is faulty buy. There was no buy at all. You bought it out of emotion, maybe. Someone posted on Twitter, no buy at all. You have to make a report card. You have to quantify, like out of 100, perfect buy were 20% only. This will happen in first week. It will be like perfect buy will be 10-11%. Faulty will be 60%. So then slowly you will start analyzing the chart and then you will come in closer to the perfect buy zone. This exercise will also prevent you from FOMO. Like when a stock is running high, you buy at random level and that is the time for it to correct, then you sell it. So that's how.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You can see. Yeah.
So I think firstly I'll just say that basically thank you so much for the session. And I think हम लोग फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टिंग करते हैं सारे, तो हमें एक डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव मिला आज. एंड जो भी आपके क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर्स हैं, वी हैव 30 more minutes till the like हॉल हमारे पास 5 PM तक है. And we can have a round of question and answers. कोई fundamental investing पे भी if you have any questions, so I'll be also there to answer all the questions. So we can start.
And
सर मेरा डाउट है कि आप स्टॉक्स को स्क्रीन कैसे करते हो?
Based on
स्टॉक्स सर हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि किसमें मोमेंटम आ रहा है और किसमें एंट्री लेनी चाहिए?
Sir, one thing on weekend, I scan all the charts manually. NSE. If you want, 2.5 on weekend. Yes, on weekend, sir, I scan 2000 chart. Otherwise, for screener, focus on relatively stronger names. You will get 300 to 400. Now, if you want to further refine it, focus on stocks that are near to the highs, 52-week highs. So many screeners are available, stock edge, charting, markets में spider. Focus on stocks that are within 20% of the 52-week high. And then focus on stocks that are above 200 MA. My one filter is that price above 50 rupees I trade, I buy. I don't buy less than that. You can avoid that filter. If you apply these three, you will get, I think, around 150 to 180 names. Then it is very easy for you. So if you are a fundamental investor, obviously your stock will be near to the high. It will be in the list. Because if it is very less, then maybe probably you know the story already. Yes, sir. So chart pattern is just an additional tool. Even if you do not know chart pattern, you can still make money with just one line drawn on the chart. Moving average, price, volume, one line is enough. No need to go too deep. Otherwise, it will be analysis paralysis. If you know, it is better. So price, volume enough with MA only, sir. Yes, sir.
We तो I think 10 hour का एक course ही बना दिया SOIC membership में, how to find epic stocks, which will teach you about market smith, stock edge and different tools. And actually SOIC का भी we have come out with a relative strength tool, which will like filter out sector wise कि कौन से number of मतलब suppose example लेते हैं 2020 में suppose we go back and there are chemical and pharmaceutical stocks और उसमें से as compared to the benchmark those stocks are outperforming. And कौन से sector में highest number of stocks आ रहे हैं तो that tool will basically rank it for you as well. So just to give you an idea कि basically something might be happening over here. फिर तो आप fundamental analysis भी कर सकते हो कि at that time I think a lot of companies were in 12-13 PE types and they were growing at 20-25%. So that will also give you a good clue. But if you really want to learn it, so there's a 10-hour course itself in SOIC membership, which will sort of teach you उसमें पूरा. I think you're a tribe member, right? So उसमें ही आप वहाँ पे log in करके you can simply check. Right. तो देख आई थिंक क्योंकि अपना खुद का कस्टमाइजेशन करके भी हमने बनाना था तो हमने सेक्टर से भी कंपैरिजन करा है नए वाले टूल में NSE 500 से भी करा है तो यू कैन हैव लाइक 6-7 फिल्टर्स फॉर रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ एज वेल. तो सर वही फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टिंग यहीं पे आपको हेल्प करेगी कि आप जैसे अब लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस लो वैल्यूएशंस की मतलब टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में एक जो बहुत बड़ा ड्रॉबैक मेरे को लगता है कि टेक्निकल एनालिसिस लाइक कंप्लीटली मिसेस आउट ऑन कंपनी डेवलपमेंट्स एंड फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस इफ यू जस्ट डूइंग चार्ट फॉलोइंग कि तो वहाँ पे एक आइडिया कि आप थोड़ा सा सेक्टर लेवल वैल्यूएशंस और थोड़ा जब एक्सपीरियंस आपका बढ़ते जाता है तो यू गेट एन आइडिया कि इस सेक्टर की क्या वैल्यूएशन रहती है. जैसे IT stocks 15p was the normal for them in 2014 to 19. तो फिर I won't consider it. So it's just a filtration tool. It's not the selection tool. तो मेरे अगर नहीं समझ पड़ेंगे तो I'll avoid it completely. अगर वहाँ पे प्राइसिंग इरोजन हो रही है सेक्टर में मैं तो उसको छोड़ दूंगा फंडामेंटली. तो एग्जैक्टली देखो एग्जैक्ट चीज क्या होती है कि बेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर दोज वेयर नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल्स आर लेस. कि अगर आपको 15 चीजें सही होनी चाहिए आपके लिए पैसा बनाने के लिए तो दैट बिकम्स लाइक प्रोबेबिलिटी के रूल्स के अकॉर्डिंग यू अगेंस्ट चले जाते हैं. बट अगर कोई ऐसी इन्वेस्टमेंट है लाइक आई थिंक एग्जाम्पल जैसे हमने कंजम्पशन में वन बेवरेजेस बहुत बारी डिस्कस कर लिया राइट. एंड क्या बेट मतलब यू जस्ट हैड टू थिंक अबाउट वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ राइट. अब फार्मा में आपको क्या सोचना पड़ेगा यार USFD आ गया यार उसका वाला ड्रग नहीं चल रहा यार वो वाली थेरेपी नहीं चल रही राइट. 100% ड्रॉबैक है तो वहीं पे देयर आर डिफरेंट टूल्स लाइक कि फंडामेंटली मार्जिन एक्सपेंशन हो रही है नहीं हो रही तो आप वहाँ पे लाइक आई थिंक बेस्ट थिंग अबाउट इन्वेस्टिंग इज कि एवरीथिंग इज रफली राइट नथिंग कैन बी प्रिसाइसली राइट. वरना तो अब रफली आप देखिए कि आपके फ्रेमवर्क में क्या फिट कर रहा है. तो मैं तो अपने फ्रेमवर्क में देखता हूँ क्या इस टाइम पे फिट कर रहा है. जैसे बैंक्स में अभी मेरी बात हो रही थी तो कई लोग पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स ले रहे हैं कई लोग रीजनल बैंक्स ले रहे हैं, कहीं पे एमडी भी रिजाइन कर चुका है, फिर वो भी काफी सारे बैंक्स मतलब उसमें भी काफी लोगों ने ले रखे हैं। बट दैट इज अगेन एन आइडिया कि वो मेरे फंडामेंटली फिल्टर नहीं हो रहे मेरे से, जो मेरे से फिल्टर हो रहे हैं शायद से वो दूसरे टाइप के हैं, और वहां पे मैं अपनी नंबर्स की थीसिस बना के चल रहा हूँ कि शायद से मैंने कोई अगर एक एनबीएफसी ली है तो वो 2 years फॉरवर्ड आज भी 5x पी पे 6x पी पे। अब पीएनबी का जब लास्ट नॉइस बना था तो एक ही दम वो जो फ्रॉड केस आया था किसी को भी नहीं पता था बाहर आ जाएगा। एक ही दम कोई बंदा पैसे लेके भाग गया उनके। मिस्टर वसीन का तो आई थिंक वो काफी उन्होंने वीडियोस भी बनाई हुई है उन पे, तो आपको वो देखनी चाहिए। राइट। See, eventually the economics of the business catches up with the stock price. I'll though just simply say that. अब कितनी एलोकेशन लोगे, 1-2%, उससे ज्यादा मैक्स वैसे ही दम नहीं होएगा आप में। आपको पता है कितने इस पे कंपनी में पंगे हुए हैं। मेरे तो प्रोसेस में वैसे डिलीट हो जाते हैं ना, 1-2% एलोकेशन में पैसा तो बनने नहीं वाला, तो टोटली अवॉइड ही हो जाते हैं मेरे लिए तो पर्सनली। टीवी देखना ही नहीं ना। टीवी से पैसा किसने बनाया? और अब एसओआईसी में भी जैसे कितनी बारी, जैसे आज हमने एक आई थिंक कैम्स के बिजनेस पे वीडियो बनाई, बिकॉज मेरे को कम से कम 500 ईमेल आ चुकी है लोगों की पिछले 1-2 साल में कि यार कैम्स पे बनाओ, कैम्स पे बनाओ। उस टाइम पे वो 3-3,500 का स्टॉक चल रहा था। आज भी जो वीडियो बनाई है, अगर आप वीडियो देखोगे तो इट विल जस्ट टीच यू कि कैसे म्यूचुअल फंड की जो एयूएम ग्रोथ है उससे उसकी ग्रोथ लिंक्ड है, और वो 12-13% से ज्यादा आने नहीं वाली। बट अब वही चीज है कि वो पूरा आपको वो 360 डिग्री व्यू देगी कि इस बिजनेस में बेसिकली मे बी लाइक, अगेन कोई एडवाइस टू सेल और बाय नहीं है, बट ऐसे बिजनेस को भी जैसे आज जो डिस्कस करा हमने यूट्यूब चैनल पे भी, सो मे बी व्हेन देयर इज अ मार्केट क्रैश एंड इट गोज थ्रू अ साइकिल ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग डी लेवरेज और फिर ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज उसमें किक इन करते हैं, तो आई लुक एट सच बिजनेसेस एट दैट टाइम। बट वहां पे मेरा होमवर्क हो चुका है कि अब अगली मार्केट क्रैश आएगी ना, आप सबके लिए रिपोजिटरी बनी हुई है एक वीडियोस की। 285 वीडियोस हो चुकी हैं अभी तक चैनल पे। सो यू हैव 285 वीडियोस जहाँ पे आपका एक फंडामेंटल्स का एक होमवर्क हो रखा है कि एटलीस्ट यू कैन बेसिकली आप आराम से उस वीडियो को बैठ के अगर आप देखो तो आपको बिजनेस बारे में इन अ फ्लैश पता लग जाएगा। 20-25 घंटे का काम आपका 30 मिनट में हो रहा है। उसके बाद अपना जो न्यू फंडामेंटल डेवलपमेंट्स है वो आप जोड़ के अपने फ्रेमवर्क में लगा के कैन डू वट एवर यू थिंक इज राइट।
Again, I'm asking you a question again, sorry for that. आपने लेडीज फ्रेंड का आपने ये देना का वीडियो डाला हुआ है, कैसे कहाँ से आता है? How do you do? I'm asking you this. I wanted to use that. Himanshu Sharma, how do you do?
बेसिकली हाउ टू फाइंड एपिक स्टॉक्स का एक जो ना 10 आवर का पूरा कोर्स है, सिर्फ उसमें रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ ही नहीं है, उसमें देयर आर मल्टीपल वेज। बेसिकली जैसे आपने डिलीवरी वाली बात करी, एब्सोल्यूट डिलीवरी का, तो वो भी उसमें कवर्ड है। देन फंडामेंटल स्क्रीन्स भी कवर्ड है कि व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन मार्जिन्स एक्सपैंड, उसको आप कैसे पकड़ सकते हो। केपेक्स की भी स्क्रीन्स कवर्ड है उसके अंदर। सो रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ वोंट बी दी ओनली थिंग फॉर मी, बट रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ कंबाइंड विद कि किस सेक्टर में, जैसे अभी अगर आप एक्सपोनेंशियल मूविंग एवरेज का आइडिया लेते हो, मतलब तो इस टाइम पे अगर आप 40 वीकली ईएमए देखते हो तो बैंक्स का भी इस टाइम पे 90-92% बैंक्स आर इन दैट। फिर ऐसे में हर सेक्टर का करके देखता हूँ कि परसेंटेज वाइज कौन से सेक्टर में इस टाइम पे सबसे कम मोमेंटम है, तो वो भी मेरे लिए एक टूल फॉर स्क्रीनिंग है कि अब किस सेक्टर में मोमेंटम निकल चुका है, तो जाके मैं उसको पढ़ सकता हूँ। वो ठीक है, मतलब जिसको समझ पड़ते हैं। Right. So it's a tool basically, I think अभी गूगल शीट पे तो बन चुका है, बस उसका फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट रह गया। तो इट्स लाइक कि जैसे अगर बैंक्स हैं, आज जैसे नंबर ऑफ बैंक्स अगर हम पूरे स्क्रीन चलाते हैं और बैंक्स अगर आज उसमें आ रहे हैं एटलीस्ट 40 बैंक्स आते हैं उसमें, तो इट विल गिव यू अ रैंकिंग लेवल, रैंक वाइज आपको दे देगा कि इस टाइम पे बैंक सबसे ज्यादा रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ के अंदर आ रहा है। फिर बैंक्स के बाद आपके इस टाइम पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टॉक्स आ रहे हैं, तो आपको सेकंड पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टॉक्स का डाल देगा। फिर उसमें फिर ट्रेंडिंग डेज भी कवर्ड है कि कितने डेज से दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक हैज बीन आउट परफॉर्मिंग द मार्केट फॉर लास्ट 55 डेज। ऐसे ऐसे भी उसमें काफी टाइम से स्टॉक आ रहे हैं जो पिछले 55 दिन से ही लाइक हैव बीन लाइक रिलेटिवली स्ट्रॉन्गर कंपेयर टू द इंडेक्स एंड कंपेयर टू द सेक्टर एज वेल। तो उसका वो भी एक आइडिया कि वैसे भी करेंगे। देन ऑल्सो द आइडिया ऑफ गोल्डन क्रॉसओवर भी है उसमें कि 50 डीएमए आपका जो 100 डीएमए को अलग, अगर 50 ईएमए और डीएमए दोनों का करा हुआ है उसमें, उसको क्रॉस कर रहा है। एंड कौन से सेक्टर में सबसे ज्यादा क्रॉसिंग हो रही है वो भी कवर्ड है उसके अंदर, वो भी आपके सामने रैंक होके आ जाएगा। सो दैट विल जस्ट गिव यू एन आइडिया, और किस सेक्टर में क्रॉस डाउन हो रहे हैं वो भी आपको पता लग जाएगा कि शायद से नेक्स्ट वैल्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी यहाँ पे 1 या 2 ईयर्स में कभी भी आ सकती है। तो आप इसको भी पढ़ सकते हो। 30th ऑफ दिसंबर, हाँ 30th बन चुका है, टूल बन चुका है। हाँ पहले 1 घंटे की उसमें एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो होगी, किसी को भी सीखना होगा तो सिंपल है बहुत, इट्स वेरी सिंपल टू यूज बेसिकली, राइट। आपका
Sir, yeah.
Also, what I was asking was, is it a good way that you first check the Nifty indexes, like pharma, auto, and then there is a trend formation there. Then you go for the stocks in there.
Sir, there are
Like you are able to do like knowledge share or something and you are doing international. But it may not be possible for
correct.
everyone. So, will that be a good way of going about it?
So there are two methods of stock screening: top down and bottoms up. In bottoms up, like sir was asking about relative strength, even MarketSmith India gives you a RS rating feature. That's a proprietary rating of IBD, Investor Business Daily. When you scan for stronger stocks through MarketSmith India or any other platform, you get a list of stocks, maybe roughly about 300, 400. And then you download the Excel sheet. There is a sector name. You arrange the sector. You get a fair bit of idea how many stocks are from a particular sector. So this way you come to know the stocks will guide you to the strongest sector. This is bottoms up approach. Like so many names in February were auto, then hotel stocks, then paper stocks. So all of them started coming together. So you get a fair bit of idea. That's bottoms up. In top down, what you are saying, you first analyze the sectoral chart. Nifty Pharma broke out in 2020. You got an idea. Then auto chart, then other sectors, infra, energy, metal. And then once you analyze that this sectoral chart is strong, okay, I now need to scan the strongest setup from this. Then you scan for 100 or 150 names in that sector, whichever is near to the high or then above key moving average, you will buy that stock. That is top-down approach. The only problem I feel in top-down approach is that firstly, all indices are not represented completely. If you check paper or how will I find hotel stocks, they are not represented. There is some bit of opaqueness in categorizing the stocks, firstly. And then secondly, the bottom-up approach will take me to the right sector automatically. So there are like hotel, or maybe they were like, now you will see that the one point of time, I think this footwear industry started coming up to the scan. Mirza, Leher, then there was one Metro Liberty also, Campus, Activewear. So in top down, then the next problem will come. IPO stocks you will not be able to scan. So IPO stocks initially when they are listed, so my RS screen will also pick them up based on their 1 or 2 or maybe 3 day. But usually you can have that separate watch list for IPO also. So top down, bottom up. Bottom up is hard working exercise usually. Top down is a shortcut, but top down has its own disadvantage also. That often you won't get the all sectors listed in a one index. So you can make your custom index in TradingView, but it's one-time hard work exercise. Like you wanna make a footwear index, so Mirza plus this Liberty and this plus, so that's how we do.
understand that if the index stocks, like let's take auto. So Mahindra and Mahindra, TVS have performed. So, and you're listed. So maybe you can look for the proxies, like Bharat Forge, ancillaries. Something like if the reality sector is going up, you may look for cement. Okay, you have missed DLF or Godrej. So maybe you can look at some plywood stocks.
Actually, if you apply the same logic, if the proxies have not performed, it is for a reason. Like if you think I have missed TVS Mahindra, then you see the chart of Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto. They haven't performed at all. That means there is some problem maybe in this company. Yeah, you are right. Maybe a huge influx of money comes in, then they start performing. But you must pick the leaders. Like Rolex Ring was one chart from auto sector. Look at the FIAM Industries was one. So you look at their performance vis-a-vis Bajaj Auto and Hero Moto. Both are sleeping. From three-wheeler space, TVS has given superior move than the other two. So if you are going with this concept of proxy, you can buy, but won't get the same amount of juice you get from the leader. That's the problem in there.
So
Both of you. A part of the question is fundamental related and part of it is technical. So mostly relative strength is leading to the hot stock or the momentum stock. And if a stock is already a hot stock but it is not fundamentally good. So what do I do with that? Because technicals are telling me to buy it, while fundamentals are not telling me to buy it. In that case, what is the decision?
Sir, at any time you would be having 10, 15 stocks in your watch list that are fundamentally good. They have earnings backup, sales backup, margin backup. You will have those names definitely in your watch list. So you have to give priority to the names which have some fundamental backing, right? If 5 stocks are breaking out or coming in through my screen, and one is a large cap company like maybe HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, I usually avoid them because they won't give me a fast move like a small company. If a small company have that earnings, growth and margin, what am I looking for is the momentum in the earning growth, not only the earning growth. Like 100 to 110, then 110.
No, but relative strength only talks about the price.
Yes,
It does not talks about the earning.
Yeah.
So if my price is moving, it can be moving because of supply reasons, or if the stock is cornered, or there can be a number of reasons. Okay, it is not supported by the fundamentals. So if it is still showing relative strength, it is a hot stock. Do you expect me to invest?
If I do not have any other name which is fundamentally strong, then I will go for it. If I do not have any other name, otherwise I won't go. Otherwise, I need some fundamental backing, and the sector should be sector which is picking up steam. Like how to explain you? Like in pharma sector, you see, Loris was the leader. Amines, you see now. Alkyl amines, Balaji amines, and there was one also diamine.
But that is not in aliphatic.
Aliphatic. So these two, Balaji, Alkyl. Alkyl was the first one to break out in May. Balaji broke out in September or maybe October, November at the 850 level I am talking about. So if I do not have any other name in my watch list which is fundamentally good, then I will go. Otherwise, I won't go. CL Educate was one example from the education. This MPS, CL Educate, I skipped because the fundamentals were so poor. Then there was one stock moving up like Cineline, I think. Cineline was one stock. CL Educate was one stock where I checked there was a loss-making company, I think CL Educate. Then I checked it. Maybe I'm mistaking it with this other name, Cineline or CL Educate. I'm not sure. Cineline was one name, I think. Cineline or maybe CL. Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, okay. I'll check back again, but it was, I think, CL Educate or Cineline was one name which I skipped because earning, sales and margins was not there, which I was looking for. So unless I don't have any other fundamental name, then I will not.
So, but in
So,
So one question, sir.
We need, but in our case, like suppose if we do not find like comfort in accounting, like one of the traveling companies that did very well, right? तो relative strength में आ रहे हैं, but मतलब एक्चुअली जब आप टिकट बुक करते हो फ्लाइट की, आप सबने फ्लाइट या रेलवे की टिकट तो बुक करी होगी, तो आप पैसे कब देते हो? एडवांस में देते हो या 3 महीने बाद देते हो? एडवांस में उसी टाइम चले जाते हैं पैसे, तो मतलब फ्लाइट चाहे से 1-2 महीने बाद हो, राइट? तो वहाँ पे सिंपली कैश कन्वर्जन इज नॉट इवन 45% ऑफ पैट। तो रिसीवेबल में एक ट्रैवलिंग कंपनी का पैसा फंसने का मतलब ही क्या, अगर आप एग्रीगेटर हो तो नहीं, मतलब हमें नहीं समझ आता, हम छोड़ देते हैं। हमारा तो एक सिंपल रूल है। और अगर रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ में भी सपोज जैसे लाइक एग्जांपल ऑफ IIFL फाइनेंस, लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल। आई थिंक अभी 15-16, आई थिंक हैज बीन मोर देन 1.5 ईयर या 1 ईयर जिस डिस्कशन हुआ था। तो रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ में वो अब आके अब आने चालू हुआ है कि अब लोग उसको देख रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं। बट वहां पे भी आज भी वो मेरे फिल्टर हो जाएगा अगर मेरा वैल्यूएशन एक्सरसाइज उस पर डन है, इफ आई हैव डन द वर्क, बिकॉज स्टिल इट्स एट 6x फॉरवर्ड पी to a 2-year forward P, because I think credit cost will further normalize. So यहाँ पे भी I'll make distinctions. It's not the only thing for me, because we can't just be chart followers, because we have to protect capital as well. तो हमारे लिए तो like first 2 rules of investing are like true, like protect money and do not forget rule number 1, because our allocations are also like 8-10%, 6% in a stock. तो अगर 8% लॉस होता है, अगर 8% कैपिटल पे 50% लॉस हो, तो पोर्टफोलियो लेवल पे 4% लॉस है। बट सिमिलरली अगर 8% गोज अप बाय 3x, तो अगेन पोर्टफोलियो लेवल पे 16% गेन है। तो वी आर वेरी वेरी बेसिकली केजी। हमारा अगर फॉरेंसिक स्क्रीन नहीं क्रॉस कर रहा, तो काफी बार ये होता है कि क्रॉस कर भी जाता है, बट जब रिजल्ट्स आने स्टार्ट होते हैं तो उसके बाद कैश फ्लो कंपनी का नेगेटिव हो गया, कैश फ्लो नेगेटिव के बाद कुछ इन्वेंट्री राइट ऑफ कर दिया, फिर कंपनी ने कुछ इम्पेयरमेंट कर दी एकदम एक एकदम 2 क्वार्टर के बीच में। काफी बारी प्राइस उस चीज को पिकअप नहीं करता, बट अगर आप थोड़ा सा भी अकाउंटिंग की मतलब स्क्रीन ही होती है, अभी तो हमने एक्सेल शीट पे भी बना रखी है, और थोड़ा सा भी रिजल्ट ट्रैकिंग करते हो, तो फंडामेंटल्स हेल्प यू अ लॉट। आई थिंक एवरी प्रोसेस इज रफली राइट, नॉट प्रिसाइसली राइट। अब अरमान फाइनेंस का एग्जांपल ले लो, barely 2000 volumes traded in a day, 3000. I think Abhishek ji is also there, right? So he's a very good friend. तो अभी हमारी मतलब आई थिंक 1-1.5 साल पे उस पे बात होती है, उनका फोन आया, ये तो एकदम मतलब वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट, कह रहे तो 690 का हो गया है। देखो उसमें वॉल्यूम नहीं है, मतलब बिजनेस अच्छा है, मतलब वॉल्यूम नहीं है। अगर 1-2 हजार भी कोई शेयर खरीदता है तो ऊपर चले जाता है। एंड आई थिंक मे बी ही मस्ट हैव बॉट सम मोर ओवर देयर। एंड अब जब भी ऊपर भी जाता है, तो अगेन मैं भी कहता हूँ कि वॉल्यूम नहीं है, बिजनेस पे ध्यान दो इसमें, क्योंकि इसमें तो अगर कोई 1000 वॉल्यूम भी लेता है तो प्राइस ऊपर नीचे हो जाता है। तो ऐसे केसेस में योर रिसर्च हैज टू बी वेरी ऑन पॉइंट, बिकॉज इट्स अ स्मॉल माइक्रो कैप कंपनी टाइप्स, मतलब बहुत छोटी कंपनी, 1000 करोड़ 1100 करोड़ का मार्केट कैप है। एंड सेकेंडली जब लो फ्लोट है या फिर फ्लोट कॉर्नर है, a lot of times basically अगर कोई भी थोड़ा सा भी सेलर आएगा तो it will correct for n number of reasons. भारत रसायन में for 10 years this was happening. 300 शेयर ट्रेड होते हैं दिन के, 200 शेयर ट्रेड होते हैं दिन के, राइट? एंड यहीं पे पटेल नगर में ही उनकी एजीएम होती है। आई विल, अगर आप सब दिल्ली से हैं तो डेफिनेटली डू अटेंड, बट भटूरे छोले भी खिलाते हैं वो लोग तो। एंड बिजनेस बारे में आइडिया लगता है कि बिजनेस में क्या क्या चल रहा है बेसिकली। तो बट यू आर टोटली राइट कि कभी कभी लो फ्लोट में काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है कि टेक्निकल्स लगाना।
Sir,
Low float basically will control the position size in low float. Say Went India is one stock. Every day volume is 300, 400. Recommended on television also. So we reduce the position size considerably. Sir, when I bought Acrisil at 144, market cap was 140 CR. Acrisil, I think 140 CR, 150 CR was the market cap at 144. That time it didn't enter NSE main board. Acrisil. Last month was, I think 140, 150 CR was Acrisil. When it broke out, and then later on it got the contract with IKEA of the global supply chain for their sinks, the quad sinks. So market cap, it is very low. Again, as he said, you have to see the volume basically. If volume is very less, you have to considerably reduce the position size maybe to, but then again 2% पे पैसा बनेगा नहीं. So no point of trading it. Every cycle the leaders will change. That's what I say. So अगर आप वही सेम स्टॉक्स रख के बैठे रहेंगे तो जो साइड में से जाएंगे नई साइकिल में 5x 6x वाले वो मिस हो जाते हैं उस केस में. और मीनवाइल आपका स्टॉक 5x दे चुका है 1 ईयर में 2 ईयर में, फिर भी आप उसको रख के अब बैठे हैं. अब वो फाइनली वॉलेटाइल भी हो गया है, लेट स्टेज सिग्नल है, वॉलेटिलिटी हो जाएगी, बढ़ जाएगी. वो स्टॉक अब ब्रेकडाउन भी देने लगेगा. और अब ब्रेकडाउन नहीं भी देता है, जैसे टाटा पावर है, लॉरस लैब मान लीजिए ब्रेकडाउन नहीं दिया, आपके पास है. अब 2 साल हो गए उसको. सिंजीन आपके पास है, मान लीजिए HDFC लाइफ है, 2 साल हो गए, लेकिन 2 साल में बाकी के स्टॉक्स निकल गए आपके आगे से, 5x हो गए, 6x हो गए. तो बेटर क्या है, या तो टाइम स्टॉप ले लीजिए उसमें 6 मंथ्स के ऊपर, यू विल एग्जिट एंड देन 50% यू विल पुट इन अ न्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी. बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ. अगर आप नो, चर्निंग इज नॉट हाई एज लॉन्ग एज द स्टॉक इज इन अ ट्रेंड. तो 6 मंथ 9 मंथ मिनिमम रहता है ट्रेंड में अच्छा स्टॉक कोई भी. मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टॉक्स ऑल्सो रिमेन इन ट्रेंड फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 1 to 2 years. Tata Elxsi almost 2 years was in an uptrend. So there was no churning at all. But when the case comes for an exit, like you do in fundamental analysis, PE expansion, वो PE उसका 80-90 चला गया and more than your anticipated earning, you have to take an exit in that case. तो churning is very less. Churning तो होता है swing trading या intraday trading. When positional, it will be very less.
Sir. Since we have stock loss in technical analysis, do you have the same in fundamental analysis?
Asking.
Right. So I think fundamental analysis में I'll just again say this कि see, जब आप पोर्टफोलियो अप्रोच लेके चलते हो, सपोज आज आपके पोर्टफोलियो में 15 to 20 स्टॉक्स हैं, राइट, एंड सपोज करते हैं 25 स्टॉक्स हैं. सो जैसे टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में आपके स्टॉप लॉस हिट होते रहते हैं, आप बार बार चर्न करते रहते हो. सिमिलरली फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टिंग में भी क्या होता है कि यू हैव टू बी राइट ऑन अ पोर्टफोलियो लेवल. दिस इज हाउ आई थिंक अबाउट इट कि अगर मेरे पास अगर कोई रिस्की पोजीशंस भी हैं तो आई विल कैप इट टू अ सैटेलाइट पोर्टफोलियो लेवल, कि अगर मैं 4-5 स्टॉक्स का एक पोर्टफोलियो ऐसे बना के चल रहा हूँ तो वहां पे रखूंगा. बट सिमिलरली मैं कहता हूँ कि आपने देखा कि जब 15 अगस्त पे हैज एनीवन एवर डन काइट फ्लाइंग ओवर इट, राइट? तो जब पतंग कट जाती है तो कटी हुई पतंग भी उड़ते रहती है काफी देर के लिए. तो आई जस्ट कीप सेइंग कि जब वो ऑब्सीन वैल्यूएशन में चले जाते हैं ना, तो बहुत तरीके हैं इसके, मतलब अगर आपको सोचना है अबाउट द आइडिया ऑफ सेलिंग अ स्टॉक, जब वो ऑब्सीन वैल्यूएशन में चले जाते हैं, जैसे आप रिलैक्सो का एग्जांपल लो, तो रिलैक्सो पे भी काफी नैरेटिव, काफी स्टोरीज, सब कुछ बना. बट डू यू नो इवन प्री कोविड लेवल का प्राइस इट हैजंट क्रॉस्ड, जो February 2020 में था, बिकॉज इट वाज एट सम 110 and 120p, राइट? तो यहाँ पे मैं उसको फ्रेमवर्क में डालता हूँ कि ये कटी हुई पतंग है, राइट? तो यहाँ पे द थिंग इज कि इफ यू डू अ रिवर्स DCF एंड रिवर्स DCF आप सिंपल वो तिजोरी फाइनेंस या आप एक्सेल शीट पे भी कर सकते हो, तो आपको एक आइडिया लगेगा या 30% की ग्रोथ बेक इन हो रही है अगले 15 साल के लिए. तो वो कहते हैं एक्सपेक्टेशंस है मार्केट की. राइट. तो अगेन सोना कॉमस्टार का चलो एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं, बट फर्स्ट स्टेज में इट वाजंट सपोज्ड टू बी बॉट, जस्ट इन माय ओपिनियन, बिकॉज 150p नो ऑटो एंसिलरी इन द वर्ल्ड हैज मेड मनी. 120p कौन सी ऑटो एंसिलरी 77 पे ट्रेड करती है? नन, राइट? बिजनेस इज बियॉन्ड एपिक, राइट? बट अब बियॉन्ड एपिक बिजनेस कैन नॉट समटाइम्स नॉट बी अ वेरी गुड स्टॉक एज वेल. सो दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लम कि जब पता है कि ओवर वैल्यूएशन पे मिस्टेक हो गई है, क्योंकि एकदम हेडविंड्स भी आई यूरोप और US की, द बेस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इज टू बेसिकली गेट आउट ऑफ इट, क्योंकि दैट इज वन थिंग. बट मैं ब्रॉडर सेलिंग फ्रेमवर्क्स में चलूँ फंडामेंटल के, तो एक तो ये है कि जब पता है यार वैल्यूएशन अब ओवर ऑब्सीन हो गई है, जैसे अगर कोई मैं स्टॉक ओन करता हूँ, अगर ऑब्सीन वैल्यूएशन हो गई है तो दैट विल बी ऑन द चॉपिंग ब्लॉक्स. तो वहां पे मैं फिर टेक्निकल्स मिक्स कर सकता हूँ कि अब देखो टाटा एलेक्सी जैसे प्रॉब्लम में, बिजनेस में क्या प्रॉब्लम है कि वो फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टर्स को, हमारे जैसे लोगों को 2500 रुपए से महंगा लग रहा है, राइट? एंड वी मिस द एंटायर मूव टिल 10,000 11,000 रुपीज. तो वहां पे इफ वी कंबाइन दिस फ्रेमवर्क ना ऑफ सिंपली जस्ट फॉलोइंग द 40 वीकली एक्सपोनेंशियल मूविंग एवरेज, तो हर बुल मार्केट में आप चाहे 2014 से 18 वाली बुल मार्केट देख लो, उसमें you just needed to throw a dart, a lot of those companies just went like ballistic. तो हर बुल मार्केट में आपको ऐसी थीम्स मिलेगी, एंड टू जूस द रिटर्न्स इफ यू जस्ट फॉलो दिस फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ 40 वीकली मूविंग एवरेज, तो टेक्निकल से मैं पर्सनली ये बोरो करने लग गया हूँ कि अगर मेरे को एग्जिट करना है और मेरा कोई कंपनी मेरी ओवर वैल्यूड हो चुकी है, बट आई विल एग्जिट वंस द टेक्निकल्स विल गिव मी अ ब्रेकडाउन। पता तो है मेरे को कि फंडामेंटली बेच देना चाहिए। अब कौन कौन मतलब मोमेंटम वाला आ रहा है, जो कहते हैं ना मंकी सी मंकी डू, तो कितने ट्रेडर्स कितने इन्वेस्टर्स उसको खरीदने, अब ये मैं कभी प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकता थ्रू फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टिंग। सो दैट इज वेयर इट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट इन योर जर्नी। जब आपके साथ भी ऐसा होगा, एल्काइल अमाइंस में हुआ था हमारे साथ, 19 से लेके बैठे हुए थे, एक साल स्टॉक मतलब थोड़ा सा हिला, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, उसका मिथाइल अमाइंस का प्लांट गॉट डिलेड, and from 20 till 21 and a half just didn't stop, but we sold early at a 3-4 bagger. Had we rode it, it would have been a 14 bagger. 14 bagger बाद जाके टेक्निकल पे एग्जिट आई थी उसके ऊपर, एंड मतलब 14 bagger in 1.5 year would have been like, वैसे तो लाइफ चेंजिंग मनी थी, बट इट would have been a fortune basically. That is the framework which you can borrow. हर बुल मार्केट में होएगा। Every obscene stock that you see जो आपके पोर्टफोलियो में कोई ना कोई बहुत ह्यूज विनर बनेगा, 2 or 3 things will be common. The starting valuations will always be cheap. Second thing is tailwinds will come in that sector. Third thing is कि earnings growth के ट्रिगर होंगे, या तो केपेक्स कंप्लीट होएगा इस बिजनेस में, या तो वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एक्सपेंशन कर रहा है, या तो नया प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च कर रहा है, जो हमने बार बार डिफरेंट ट्रिगर्स फॉर अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ भी सीखा है। सो दैट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप फंडामेंटली एटलीस्ट यू हैव दैट होमवर्क डन, राइट, कि आपको पता तो है कि एटलीस्ट ये कंपनी में क्या चल रहा है। सो आई थिंक टेक्निकल से ये बहुत अच्छी चीज हम लोग बेसिकली बोरो कर सकते हैं। एट द एंड वी आर प्रोबेबिलिटी बेस्ड इन्वेस्टर्स। फंडामेंटल से वी आर मैक्सिमाइजिंग आवर प्रोबेबिलिटी, टेक्निकल से वी आर मैक्सिमाइजिंग आवर प्रोबेबिलिटीज। सो आर्ग्यूइंग अबाउट टैग्स, क्योंकि बहुत मैं देखता हूँ लोगों के साथ होता है कि यार फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टिंग से कर टेक्निकल पे क्यों सेशन कर लिया, क्या यार सीखने का एक पर्सपेक्टिव है एक चीज को देखने का। आई थिंक दैट इज अ ह्यूज वन।
सर जो बैंकिंग सेक्टर का आपने रिसेंट में एग्जांपल दिया, पिछले 1-2 वीक से बहुत सारे बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स हैं जो फिल्टर में आ रहे हैं, एंड दे आर गोइंग विद अ ह्यूज वॉल्यूम आल्सो। तो अभी आपका जो अर्निंग साइकिल का अगर बात करें, आपका व्यू क्या है कि हाउ मच दिस इट कैन लास्ट? लेट्स से इंटरेस्ट रेट्स बढ़ गए हैं, यही आपका जो साइकिल रहेगा वो कितना, हाउ व्हाट इज योर व्यू एट नाउ कि हाउ मच लॉन्ग इट कैन लास्ट?
आई थिंक सी आई विल जस्ट से दिस कि अब बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स में अगर आप बैंक का एक आरओए ट्री बना के देखते हो, तो सबसे पहले चीज आप स्टार्ट करते हो नेट इंटरेस्ट इनकम से, उसके बाद इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंडेड, तो नेट इंटरेस्ट इनकम आपके पास पूरा वहाँ पे आ जाता है। फिर आप वहाँ से एनआईएम मार्जिन भी कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो। फिर बैंक का ग्रॉस इनकम होता है या ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट्स होते हैं कि कितना मैंने इंटरेस्ट कमाया और कितना मैंने इंटरेस्ट दिया, तो उसके बीच का डिफरेंस मेरा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट है। फिर आपके जो एक्सपेंसेस आते हैं, दे आर लाइक कि आपका एम्प्लॉइज का एक्सपेंस है, फिर आपका ब्रांचेस का एक्सपेंस है, रेंट का एक्सपेंस है, एंड फिर आपकी प्रोविजनिंग का एक्सपेंस आता है, राइट। तो अभी बैंकिंग साइकिल में क्या हुआ है कि वो जो प्रोविजनिंग वाला एक्सपेंस था ना, वो प्रोविजनिंग वाला एक्सपेंस एकदम गया, काफी कम हो गया, एंड अब एकदम क्रेडिट की ग्रोथ वापस आई। तो आपके खर्चे तो एलिवेटेड ही थे क्योंकि आप एम्प्लॉइज को सैलरी दे रहे हो, सारी चीजें कर रहे हो, एंड अब आपकी ग्रोथ वापस आने लगी है। तो आप लोग बताओ, जब खर्चे सेम रहते हैं और ग्रोथ आती है तो क्या प्ले आउट होता है बिजनेसेस में? ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज। मतलब very good that all of you know the answer. So that is what is happening in that cycle at the moment, and provisions इस time पे चले गए हैं। But I'll still say कि do not go down the quality curve, क्योंकि ऐसा बिजनेस है कि अभी आज लोन दोगे, प्रॉब्लम आज नहीं 2 साल बाद दिखनी चालू होगी। तो क्वालिटी कर्व में भी अगर देख रहे हो तो आई थिंक मिडिल लेवल पे थोड़ा सा रहना, बट अभी जस्ट साइकिल हैज जस्ट लाइक टर्न लिटरली 1 or 2 quarters ago। बट फिर भी मेरे फ्रेमवर्क में मेरे को पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक समझ नहीं आते। किसी को करना है, मोमेंटम करना है, जो करना है सब कर सकते हैं, बट मेरे को नहीं समझ पड़ता क्योंकि आई हैव सीन द फंक्शन, द वे दे फंक्शन एज वेल, एंड आई हैव सीन देम लाइक एक्चुअली गोइंग थ्रू अ ब्लैक होल इन द बैलेंस शीट। कि आपको आइडिया देता हूँ, यूनियन बैंक का आइडिया देता हूँ, तो यूनियन बैंक का आज मार्केट कैप 2010 वाले मार्केट कैप से ज्यादा होएगा, बट बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स आउटस्टैंडिंग हैव इंक्रीज सो मच, शेयर होल्डर्स हैवंट मेड मनी, राइट, क्योंकि बार बार आपके बैलेंस शीट पे एकदम होल ब्लोन हो गए। बट दिस इज अ गुड थिंग एज वेल कि अगर पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स अच्छा कर रहे हैं तो माने जो ठीक भी बैंक्स हैं या ठीक भी एनबीएफसीज है ना, दे विल डू वेरी वेल। इस साइकिल में मैं टियर 1 बैंक्स और टियर 1 एनबीएफसी से दूर हूँ, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी कहते हैं ना वहाँ पे सीन वैल्यू है, अनसीन वैल्यू नहीं है इस टाइम पे, तो वहां से मैं ऑलरेडी इस टाइम पे दूर चल रहा हूँ। So that is something जो वहाँ पे देख रहा हूँ. उसमें भी शायद से Axis Bank is something that I will sort of जो filter हो सकता है, क्योंकि 2 times price to book पे 17% ROE, and I think that is something which might have value in tier 1.
And I have one thing to add. Asset quality में compromise नहीं करना चाहिए. Like asset quality is the main thing कि NPS कितना है और कितना provision कर रहा है. And moreover, अगर आप उदय कोटक की कॉइन कॉल सुनोगे, आप उससे पूरा लिंक कर पाओगे कि इंडस्ट्री में एग्जैक्टली हो क्या रहा है. वो सब बता देंगे कि कहाँ पे ग्रोथ आ रही है, कितनी ग्रोथ आ रही है, और जब सेक्टर हेडविंड्स भी फेस कर रहा है वो भी बता देते हैं.
I think Uday Kotak ki con call padna, मतलब Kotak Bank, even though we don't own it and stuff, but it's a cheat code to banking sector. एकदम ही प्रॉपर चीट कोड है. वो आपको 2 साल पहले ही बता देंगे, देखो यहाँ ग्रोथ आने वाली है, मैं यहाँ ग्रो करूंगा. कह रहे यहाँ पे देखो सबकी हालत खराब होने वाली है, यहाँ से मैं बाहर निकल चुका हूँ. 2016-17 में ही बोल दिया था कि यार होलसेल वाले ना पता नहीं कौन सी लेंडिंग कर रहे हैं. कॉन कॉल में ही बोल दिया था, 4 बार ही बोला पता नहीं कौन सी लेंडिंग हो रही है, मेरे को तो समझ भी नहीं आ रहा है क्या कर रहे हैं. उसके बाद ही ब्लोअप्स चालू हो गए. अभी 2020 में बोला कि वी आर गोइंग aggressive in microfinance. That was a hint for us to study microfinance. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done work on microfinance as well. Eventually, credit cost तो आ ही जाता है जब आप लोन देते हो.
Question to which time frame to look for which purpose? Investment, long-term positional, short-term positional, some like investment.
For the perspective of fundamental investing, monthly and weekly charts are okay, sir, but you will be taking your entry and exit decision based on weekly charts. Sir, William O'Neill never used daily chart. Like you can read it.
Expected holding period when we look weekly and monthly charts.
No, monthly I will use only for a fair bit of idea. Like one time one friend came, he said rural electrification will buy REC. When I opened the monthly chart, the stock is sideways for many years. BPCL may look on weekly chart, you are watching a 3-year or 4-year piece of data. In weekly, the stock may be appearing to you in an uptrend, but when you open the monthly chart, the stock has done nothing in 10 years or 8 years of time frame, still in a sideways direction. So monthly is just for a broader perspective, broader idea. Then like monthly would be of much extra use during market corrections like COVID fall. Because what happens, every stock will correct 30-40%. Now you want to buy it, but the stock corrected due to external reasons. You want to buy fundamentally. Now you open the chart of Titan, monthly chart. At 700 is one gap open, 700 it made the low, then moved up till now wherever it is right now. So monthly will give you a fair bit of perspective, but entry and exit decision will be based on weekly charts. So I will recommend never go to daily if you are into investing. No need of that daily fluctuation and daily noise. For swing trading, now you are asking what expected holding period, that is decided by the stock, not by me. As long as the stock is moving up, I will hold it. Like he was saying, alkyl amines 14 would have been 14 bagger. Now, as long as the stock screams to me that keep on holding me, I will hold it. If not, then never love or marry a stock. That's why I say never fall into love with any stock.
And for positional?
For positional only, I'm saying, sir, weekly charts is okay. Now, fine tuning the entries will come with experience. Fine tuning means that you are waiting to buy a stock at weekly close, like Gravita one was one example. You already did the homework. You want to buy the stock. Now, if you wait for the weekly close, by Friday, it may be possible that entry was at 600, stock moved till 670. Now, will you miss the complete journey, or you will buy expensive? Or rather than that, you can buy it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because these days technology is very advanced. You can set price alert. So when the stock crosses above 600, it will send you a price alert, and it only takes 2 minutes to check the stock chart. If it closes above that, maybe now I tell to people that you are a working professional. Tuesday you got an alert, you are working. 3:25 p.m. you can see where is the stock. If the level is 110, stock is at 118, 120, you can buy it. Why to wait for the next day morning? Or why to wait for the Friday close also? So fine tuning the entry only, you will need daily chart. But for like weekly chart will give you the correct perspective, will be putting you away from the volatility, daily fluctuation. That's the advantage. So for swing trading, daily charts are recommended, but for as long as peaceful, you want, at the end, you want peace of mind. So for that, weekly charts is enough, sir.
One more thing, for positional, trading. How to make a watch list versus viable stocks?
When I manually scan all the charts, I will be checking for those stocks that are in an uptrend, or at least they are sideways near the MA. Like Gujarat Alkali is near 350, you will see the chart near MA.
Physical verification of the chart.
Sir, I met one advocate in 2018. So I asked him, like, how do you remember so many laws? He says during our period in 1980s, 90s, there was no Google. So we used to pick up a book to scan for any section, bylaw, notification, rule, or subordinate legislation. But now these days, because of Google, people have started using and they go directly to the section. He said, I am not saying, he said, now these days lawyers are not so intelligent as of 1980s or 70s. So manual and the physical verification is the best method to scan the stocks, because you get the nerve of the market. Every day, that's what happened when you join a school classroom for the first time. You don't know anyone. But after 1 month, 2 months, because you stay with those 40 students, you know their name, you know their character, you know their behavior. That's the best way. But because not everyone can follow, that's why we have ready-made filtration tools. So that then you can, if you are putting that 200 MA stock above 200 MA, then you will miss some stock which is floating around near 200 MA, may break out. So then you have like filters. Yeah, that's possible through manual for verification. Otherwise, Yes Bank will not come your screen, though he will not buy. But technically, like what I'm saying, that 40 MA breakout. Otherwise, these stocks, many other stocks also, Gujarat Alkali, they won't come like on your screen initially. So that's why manual is the best. Manual, you can maybe scan Nifty 750 stocks, the top ones. Don't go beyond 1000, because they are all like very micro cap companies, and some are extra volatile, very volatile.
Okay, so my question is that suppose if stock has already down before 40 MA on weekly charts, and suppose I was not having knowledge of this, that I have to, exit from the stock when it breaks down before 40 moving average, weekly moving average, and now it's already down like 15 to 20% below that levels also. Now what to do? Because earlier, like you said, don't marry a stock. So we have already married. Now 40 week moving average. अब क्या करें? अब तो हो गया जो होना था. अब तो divorce कब लेना है मतलब?
That's an interesting part. Basically, there are two types of fall. The one you are saying is the common one. What happens? It fell down 15-20% already.
I'm telling in context of Tata Elxsi, suppose.
You are not aware. Now you have to protect the remaining capital. So for the remaining capital now, because it is already down, weekly chart, now monthly chart, you can look for the next near support. I have not discussed the support and resistance concept. So there will be your stop loss to protect your further capital from the downside. The other category of fall is where we do not recommend to exit is price shock. Price shock is like 9/11 incident for which nobody knows. That's called an act of God. When your stock corrects vertically 20%, in India won't fall more than 20, but in other markets where there is no circuit limit may fall 30-40% because of a price shock. During price shocks, what we do, we don't recommend to exit that time, because the damage has been done because of external news. So all of them reacted the similar way. So if you are already into this position like Tata Elxsi, then we recommend to protect your capital from further downside. That's why you have fire extinguisher in your house. One room is burnt, gone, for God forbid, then you don't wait for second or third. You protect remaining of the things. So that's how you will protect your capital, by having a stop loss at the next level.
Thank you.
So sometimes, but other people like to hold on for consistent compounders and companies where you trust the management. Say for instance, the case of Laurus Labs. We clearly know that it has come below 400-day weekly average. Now, in the recent call, Mr. Raman Java shared that now their revenue from non-ARV businesses and CDMOs have really picked up, and their margin. So he has, he's trying to share के अब मेरी ज़्यादा अच्छा हो गया कि मैं non-ARV businesses CDMO businesses में जा रहा हूँ. So as a fundamental investor, I would like to keep that stock, but as a technical investor, I would like to exit. So I'm gonna fix what should.
Sir, one point I will say, in technical analysis, the basic foundation is Dow theory. Dow theory has one postulate: price absorbs everything. Price absorbs everything. When the price is printed on the chart, buyer and seller may be transacting for 1,000 reasons, right? So if there is negative news, if price is falling down, that means with volume, that means there is some negative development in the business or that time I don't listen to the con call, or I will not hear the management. Yeah.
I think that at that point in time, but is it now the right time to enter?
Now the right time to enter will be like,
It is giving a sideways or probably downward direction for last 1 or 2 months. It moved from 550 to 400.
oh, that's his domain if you want to buy the same stock.
Right. So I'll just say कि अब दो तरीके के breakdown होते हैं. Like, let's discuss Laurus versus Saregama as an example, right? So पहले Laurus का example लेते हैं. So I'll just say this कि Paxlovid का जो business है उसमें आपने जो con call में सुना और पढ़ा, DVs और Laurus में fall क्यों आया? दो simple reason है, क्योंकि DVs में Molnupiravir था, Laurus में Paxlovid का business है, and I think बहुत freely available information है. हम research reports कोटक डेली भी बात काफी बारी शेयर करी, उसमें भी था. तो अगर वो Paxlovid का business जो CDMO का अभी 80-85% हो गया था, 75-80%, अगर आप उसको वैसे एक्स आउट कर दो, सपोज करते हैं, क्योंकि Paxlovid की सेल 0 हो गई है वर्ल्ड में लास्ट 2 months में, बिकॉज कोविड जा चुका है. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, इसकी बेस बिजनेस का 40% प्राइस एरोड हो गया. एंड दैट मीन्स कि जैसी Paxlovid की सेल आपको नहीं दिखेगी, तो आपको जो नॉर्मल बिजनेस के मार्जिन दिखेंगे, दे विल बी सिवियरली कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड, विच माइट हैपन फ्रॉम Q3, विच माइट हैपन फ्रॉम Q4. एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज ARV का डेटा आपने देखा था प्राइसिंग करेक्शन का, जो आई थिंक कोटक में भी था. तो ये पिछले लास्ट 9 months से ये चीज हो रही है उसके अंदर. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि जब प्राइसिंग इरोजन फार्मा में स्टार्ट होती है ना, क्योंकि आप फार्मा सेक्टर फर्स्ट टाइम आपने आई थिंक प्रॉब्ली इसमें देखा होगा, अगर 2015 से आप देखो, फार्मा सेक्टर में एंटी थीसिस ही सबसे बड़ा ये है कि जब आप मॉलिक्यूल बेच रहे हो, अगर आपकी 20% है सेल का और उसका प्राइस ही टूटने लग गया, चाहे आपकी वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ भी आए, आपकी ओवरऑल ग्रोथ नहीं आएगी और आपके मार्जिन और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएंगे. तो दिस इज वन रीजन कि फंडामेंटल चेंज है बिजनेस में. लाइक देयर आर हेडविंड्स, राइट? सो ऐसा नहीं कि हेडविंड्स नहीं है. और दूसरी हेडविंड्स क्या है, आज अगर हम उस ARV बिजनेस को सेपरेटली लिस्ट करते हैं, जस्ट एज एन आइडिया, अब मेरे को पता है 5 साल बाद ARV थेरेपी खत्म हो जाएगी, क्या वैल्यूएशन दोगे आप? न्यूज़पेपर स्टॉक की वैल्यूएशन मिलेगी, राइट? कि आजकल आप कितने लोग घर पे फिजिकली न्यूज़पेपर मंगाते हो? कि जो मंगाते हो, लाइक जस्ट रेज योर हैंड्स. लाइक आउट ऑफ अ रूम ऑफ 50-60 पीपल, पर हाँ, राइट. यार सर, वो 1% है सेल का, तो उसको देखने का क्या ही जरूरत है. बट CDMO में वही तो मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ, वन ऑफ बिजनेस है वो सस्टेनेबल नहीं है. Paxlovid की सेल वर्ल्ड में ही 0 हो गई, राइट? अब यहीं पे मैं एग्जांपल लेता हूँ सारेगामा का फर्स्ट एग्जांपल. लास्ट क्वार्टर में क्या ग्रोथ आई थी, अगर सब ट्रैक कर रहे हैं तो आई थिंक इट ग्रू पैट बाय 30% ऑड, राइट? एंड यहाँ से और भी अभी इंस्टाग्राम के साथ लाइसेंसिंग डील वापस साइन अप हो गई है, सब कुछ है. चार्ट्स कह रहे हैं कि बेच दो उसको, पेल दो बेसिकली, राइट? अब वापस 40 की पी पे आ गया है, 25-30% ग्रोवर मेरे पेग वाले फ्रेमवर्क में 1.3-1.4x में फिट कर रहे हैं. तो आई विल जस्ट कीप राइडिंग, होल्डिंग, चिलिंग विद द स्टॉक. ठीक है, जब वो 60-70 पी पे गया था, ओवर वैल्यूड हो गया था, मे बी आई शुड हैव बेसिकली एग्जिटेड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, बट अब बाइंग प्राइस पे यार 4-5% डिविडेंड यील्ड बैठ गया 3-4%, तो वहां पे आई जस्ट लेट इट बी इन दो सिनेरियोज। बट इस सिनेरियो में अगेन मैं आपको रिकमेंडेशन नहीं दे रहा बाय सेल की, यहाँ पे रियल फंडामेंटल चेंज है, क्योंकि जैसे ही वो पैक्सलेवाइड बिजनेस खत्म होएगा, आपको बेस बिजनेस एआरवी की आपको प्राइसिंग इरोजन दिखेगी। और दूसरी जो नॉन एआरवी की हम बात करते रहते हैं, वो बिजनेस तो ऑरोबिंद और लुपिन भी तो करता है फॉर्मुलेशंस का।
Okay. We can take the last question and then we can move for the tea coffee break.
तो भी टी कॉफी और स्नैक्स ब्रेक है, तो वहां पे वी कैन
Right. We
कंटिन्यू
can
दिस।
interact there also.
हाँ डेफिनेटली। किसी और को भी है कोई क्वेश्चन? इफ एनीवन एल्स? ठीक है, रेस्ट राजेश जी। तो आई थिंक 2 लास्ट क्वेश्चंस, लेट्स। राइट।
क्रेडिट को जो आई है, इसमें भी जैसे पब्लिक सेक्टर हो या प्राइवेट सेक्टर हो, जो भी है एनपीए वगैरह अपन तो टाइम है, ये साइकिल आपको क्या लगता है 1-2 साल की साइकिल तो रहेगी?
तो इसकी आप राजेश जी अगर हिस्ट्री देखेंगे तो 2002-2003 में लास्ट एनपीए साइकिल ऐसे पीक हुई थी, और वहां पे भी सिमिलर हुआ था कि आई थिंक दैट वाज एट द टाइम ऑफ इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, उस टाइम पे एनडीए गवर्नमेंट थी। तो 2002 में 2002-3 में आई थिंक इलेक्शंस हुए थे, फिर द यूपीए गवर्नमेंट केम। तो उस टाइम पे भी एक बहुत स्टिकी इशू था। आई थिंक विनीत इज फ्रॉम बैंकिंग सेक्टर, तो यू माइट रियलाइज कि उस टाइम पे भी एनपीएस बहुत ज्यादा हो गए थे। एंड फिर सिक्लिकलिटी है, एनपीए स्टार्टेड फॉलिंग, 3-4 साल से एनपीए गिरते गए और एकदम क्रेडिट साइकिल का क्लीन अप हुआ और बहुत सारे लोन राइट ऑफ भी करने पड़ गए। उसके बाद अगेन बिटवीन 4 to 8 द बैंकिंग साइकिल डिड रियली वेल। आपको तो आइडिया है, आप तो वो तब से इन्वेस्टिंग कर रहे हो। देन उसके बाद 8 के बाद आपके एनपीएस वापस बाहर आए। वो तो ऐसे बाहर आए कि वो 2014-15 तक बाहर आ रहे थे, मतलब आफ्टर द न्यू आरबीआई गवर्नर केम इन, रघुराम राजन, तो उन्होंने एसेट क्वालिटी रिव्यू करा, ये क्या कर रहे हो, एवरग्रीनिंग कर रहे हो। एंड उसके बाद से लेके 2016-18 में बैंक्स की साइकिल इतनी मेन नहीं थी जितनी एनबीएफसीज की आई थी, क्योंकि बैंक्स वर ऑलरेडी गोइंग थ्रू प्रॉब्लम्स, तो एनबीएफसी स्टार्टेड गेनिंग मार्केट शेयर एंड दे स्टार्टेड लेंडिंग इन इवन रिस्कियर सेगमेंट्स। राइट, अगर आप देखोगे तो डीएचएफएल होलसेल के लोन दे रहे हैं, तो एक ना पॉन्जी फाइनेंस कहते हैं हम इसको, इसके अंदर कि आप यू आर स्ट्रक्चरिंग लोन्स एज बेसिकली रीपेमेंट विल कम इन टर्म्स ऑफ अ बुलेट, कि एट द एंड ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट आपको रीपेमेंट मिल जाएगी, राइट, अलॉन्ग विद द इंटरेस्ट। अभी तक आप सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट ही पे कर रहे हो, बट प्रिंसिपल एंड इंटरेस्ट एट द एंड ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट मिलेगा, जब आपका पूरा प्रोजेक्ट बिक गया। तो ईडलवाइज हो गया आपका पिरामल हो गया, आपका डीएचएफएल हो गया, इस टाइप की फाइनेंसिंग करे जिसको हम पॉन्जी फाइनेंसिंग कहते हैं, कि अगर 2 प्रोजेक्ट भी डूब गए आपके, तो आपके वैसे ही एनपीए चालू हो जाएंगे वहां से। तो 16-18 में बट इनकी साइकिल ह्यूज चली, क्योंकि एक पूरा सेगमेंट वोकेटेड था। तो अब क्या हुआ कि 18 से लेके 21 की एंड तक, मतलब हम लोग तो 21 से इस चीज को ऑब्जर्व कर रहे थे कि इनके सबके प्रोविजनिंग नीचे जाने वाली है। 21 की एंड तक दिस साइकिल ऑफ लाइक जो आपके क्रेडिट क्वालिटी इश्यूज थे, ये सारी चीजें पीक आउट होने लगी। एनसीएलटी आया, वो भूषण स्टील का इतना बड़ा मतलब सेल हुआ, कॉर्पोरेट इंसॉल्वेंसी कोड्स आए, तो उसके बाद से आपका वापस साइकिल का क्लीन अप हो चुका है। तो 22-23 ऑनवर्ड से एक न्यू साइकिल यहाँ पे स्टार्ट हो रही है। तो अभी इनके नेट इंटरेस्ट मार्जिन जो सबके बड़े हैं वो टेम्पररी इन नेचर है, क्योंकि आगे से आपने लोन जल्दी से बढ़ा दिया, पीछे वालों को आपने भी कम पैसे दिए, तो वो इवेंचुअली दैट विल बेसिकली इवन आउट। बट क्योंकि वैल्यूएशन इतनी सस्ती थी, लिटरली 2 की पी पे पड़े हुए थे यार, मतलब 2x पी। तो एक ना स्टैनली ड्रकनमिलर की बड़ी वंडरफुल कोटेशन है कि आई नेवर यूज वैल्यूएशन टू टाइम द मार्केट, आई यूज टेक्निकल एनालिसिस टू टाइम द मार्केट, because valuation will only tell me where something can go in a band, but the catalyst is liquidity and my technical analysis will help me pick that up, right? तो आपके टीएस में आपके सारे अब ये बैंक्स आ रहे होंगे, आई थिंक लास्ट 6 महीने से आ रहे होंगे। मेरी आशीष सर से भी बड़ी बारी बात होती है, तो बैंक्स पे ही बात हो रही है पिछले 4-5 महीने से, राइट? तो वो सबके टीए में आने लग गए, बट फंडामेंटली भी वो 2 की पी पे 0.2 टाइम्स प्राइस टू बुक पे, एटलीस्ट 1 टाइम्स प्राइस टू बुक तो 7% आरओई पे भी मिलेगा, क्योंकि अगर आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल ही उतना है 7-8%, तो 1x तो नेटवर्थ का आपको मिल ही जाएगा, अगर आपकी नेटवर्थ अब साफ हो गई है तो could be कि this cycle can be there for next 1-2 years if someone plays it well, then it can be like huge for them. यूटीआई का आपको पता है एक म्यूचुअल फंड मास्टर शेयर करके, जो राइट जो क्लोज एंडेड फंड आया था मॉर्गन स्टैनली का, लोगों को लगा ओपन एंडेड है, सबने पैसे डाल दिए उसके अंदर 96-95 की, आई थिंक दिस इज द स्टोरी। राइट आई थिंक वो एक उसमें बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है कि जो यूटीआई के जो म्यूचुअल फंड्स थे उस टाइम पे, सो दिस वाज मास्टर शेयर डिविडेंड फंड, तो वो डिविडेंड अनाउंस करते रहते थे बट एक्चुअली में एनएवी उतनी थी नहीं। हाँ, तो ये 22,000 की बात है, तो गवर्नमेंट हैड टू बेल देम आउट, बट इट इज अमेजिंग स्टोरी कि गवर्नमेंट हैड टू बेल देम आउट, तो गवर्नमेंट को उनको 6-7 हजार करोड़ बेसिकली देने पड़े। एंड आफ्टर दैट गवर्नमेंट के वो शेयर्स उनके पास आ गए। फॉर 10 years गवर्नमेंट एंडेड अप सेलिंग दैट एट 15 bagger रिटर्न्स 10 years में। लोग गवर्नमेंट का 15 bagger बन गया बेल आउट करने के बाद भी, उससे गवर्नमेंट ने ऊपर 15 bagger कमा लिया। दैट वाज अ वंडरफुल स्टोरी ऑफ द पावर ऑफ इक्विटी मार्केट्स इन इंडिया। So I think last question, I think we have to leave ना।
Yeah.
तो अभी तो कॉफी टी है, तो वहीं पे अगर आप सब हो तो लेट्स हैव अ डिस्कशन ओवर देयर। अभी वो कम्युनिटीज आ गए वैसे SOIC न्यू ऐप आपने डाउनलोड करी?